What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 1SC. Chapter 1. Different Auxiliary Systems. New book set sail for support. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. Go to hell. Alvida raised the iron bar in his hand, ready to smash the two damn it kids into patties. Suddenly, she saw that something fell from the sky. Seems to be a person. Boom. With the huge impact, Alvida was knocked unconscious. Is there an earthquake? Bai Yu rubbed his eyes and looked around with hazy eyes. Then I saw a boy with a straw hat, and a boy with pink hair and glasses. There are many people with knives around, all of them look fierce. However, these people all widened their eyes, opened their mouths wide, and looked surprised. Dream. Bai Yu felt that his body was very soft, and when he looked down, he jumped up in fright. F***K. Who is this fat woman? He was really frightened. Anyone who wakes up and sees an old and ugly fat woman under him will be scared. Ha ha ha. When the boy with the straw hat heard Bai Yu's words, he couldn't stop laughing. Luffy, stop laughing and run now. Kirby pulled Luffy and whispered. Falling from the sky, nothing happened, no matter how you look at it, it looks like a monster. Hearing Kebi's words, Bai Yu was taken aback. A red vest, blue shorts, slippers, a straw hat. This iconic dress is hard to recognize. A word immediately popped into my mind. Cross. Bai Yu pinched himself suspiciously. Pain. It hurts. This is not a dream, he really crossed. Looking at his body, still wearing pajamas. Not the soul to wear, but the body. Huh, take a deep breath and calm down. Which otaku doesn't have a time travel dream? He is no exception. But after the real crossing, it is another feeling. This is the pirate world where the strong are respected. There is no strength, but there is no way to survive in this sea. My name is Luffy, how did you fall from the sky? Are you living in the sky? Luffy walked up to Bai Yu and looked at it curiously. My name is Bai Yu, and I don't know how I fell from the sky. Bai Yu shook his head, thinking about what to do in the future. If he remembered correctly, Luffy should have just gone to sea. The fat woman who was stunned by him should be the female pirate Alvida. All around are ferocious pirates. With his small body, any minion could hack him to death. He didn't want to die just after crossing. Now, the thickest thigh here is Luffy, and the only way to get out of here safely is to follow Luffy. Lost your memory. Be my partner, and I'll help you find your memory. Luffy sent the invitation very seriously. You are serious? Bai Yu was very surprised, he was still thinking about how to get Luffy to take him out of here. As a result, Luffy actually invited him to join the pirates directly. Luffy may look silly, but he's not stupid at all. Especially in the aspect of choosing crew members, it is definitely better to be short than to have too much. Of course. Bai Yu, be my partner. Luffy nodded seriously and held out his hand. Look at serious Luffy. Bai Yu was lost in thought. Joining the Straw Hat Pirates is definitely exciting, and it is also the plot he is most familiar with. Even if he doesn't have cheat, he can get along well. And don't worry about other people stabbing in the back. However, he himself knew very well that he had no strength at all, and he didn't know whether he could cultivate the power of the pirate world. If he rashly joined the Straw Hat Pirates, he might die. Boom, boom, boom. The cannonball exploded, sending a splash of water. No, it's Marine. The pirates immediately found the warship in the distance, and immediately fled in fright. Bai Yu, run. Luffy pulled Bai Yu and ran. Wait for me. Kirby quickly followed. The trio jumped into a small boat and lowered the cable. The boat fell into the sea instantly. Boom. Water splashes everywhere. Bai Yu saw a girl with orange hair. The girl also looked at him. He opened his mouth to speak when Luffy cut him off. Set off. Luffy yelled, and slid the paddle with both hands. The boat galloped across the sea like an arrow from a string. Woo, I finally escaped. Luffy dropped the oars and lay down on the boat. Bai Yu was also relieved. He was not tired, mainly afraid. This speed is comparable to a super speedboat. Kirby was also pale and frightened. Bai Yu, don't you want to be my partner? Luffy looked at Bai Yu and asked. Why do you want me to be your partner? I might not even be able to beat him. Bai Yu pointed to Kebi next to him. Kirby was so frightened that he was sweating profusely. What was he kidding? Someone who couldn't fall from the sky and couldn't be killed, couldn't beat him. Ghost letter. I don't know. Anyway, there is a voice in my heart telling me that you must be my partner. Luffy shook his head. Bai Yu wouldn't believe it if someone said that, but Luffy is someone who never lies. I'll take care of you from now on, Captain. Bai Yu smiled slightly and stretched out his hand. Anyway, that's it now, it wouldn't be too bad to join the Straw Hat Pirates. Of course. Luffy happily held Bai Yu's hand with a happy smile on his face. Ding. The trigger condition is fulfilled, the strongest auxiliary system is successfully loaded. The system is binding. Binding succeeded. Crew monkeyed Luffy detected, ability sync successfully. Crew monkeyed Luffy's exclusive skills are being matched. A series of mechanically synthesized voices sounded deep in my mind. A systematic introduction also appeared in Bai Yu's mind. As long as a crew member officially joins the pirate group, he can have all the abilities of the crew member. Not only that, the system will also generate an exclusive skill that matches the crew member. After the crew has fully learned this skill, the system will generate a second skill again, with no upper limit on the number of skills. At the same time, he can also use the exclusive skills of all crew members. However, the strength of the skill is determined by the level of understanding of the crew. For example, if the crew member only comprehends one level, he can only emit one level of power. Conversely, if the crew fully comprehends the skill, then he can unleash full power. In a word, the stronger the crew, the stronger he is. All the staff assist him, it really is an auxiliary system, no problem. Skill matching completed, generating. Asterisk. Chapter 2. Can't even fly with his father. Open black lens bracket new book for collection. Ask for flowers. Ask for a review ticket. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. Skill matching completed, generating. Crew monkeyed Luffy, exclusive skill, 8 inner gates. 8 inner gates. A powerful physical technique from the world of Hokage, which unlocks the limitations of the body and obtains powerful power in a short time. Due to the different rules of the world, the effect of the skills will change. Please understand it by yourself. Close black lens bracket. Bai Yu was shocked. Unexpectedly, Luffy's first exclusive skill turned out to be 8 inner gates. The strongest body technique in the world of Hokage. None of them. Luffy's rubber fruit, with haki and 8 inner gates. What will the effect be? What kind of abilities do you get when you wait for the others to get on board? What will Summit War become with the addition of the Straw Hat Pirates? Bai Yu, what's wrong with you? When Luffy saw Bai Yu, who was in a daze, he asked in confusion. It's okay, I remembered something, it seems to be a method of cultivation, do you want to learn it? Bai Yu knew the danger of 8 inner gates, but he couldn't resist the temptation to become stronger. Want to learn? Luffy blurted out without thinking. Okay, then I'll teach you the 8 inner gates technique. Bai Yu said, raised his finger and placed it on Luffy's forehead, thinking in his heart, teach skills. An invisible wave of power entered Luffy's mind along Bai Yu's fingers. Luffy closed his eyes and stood motionless on the boat. After a moment, Luffy opened his eyes. 8 inner gates, the first door. Open. A powerful breath burst out instantly. The boat made an overwhelmed sound, as if it could shatter at any moment. So strong. Bai Yu was shocked. He didn't expect that Luffy could open the first door in seconds. At the same time, he found that Luffy only opened the first door, and his strength was so strong. And now Luffy's body is a bit like the second gear in the original book. But something is different, Luffy's skin in second gear turns red and steam appears. Now this state is just a little red, and there is no steam. Luffy took a deep breath and returned to normal. 8 inner gates are very powerful, but also very dangerous. Don't use them lightly. I'll sleep for a while when I'm tired. Bai Yu didn't really want to sleep, but made a plan in his mind. Because his strength is directly linked to the crew. The stronger the crew is, the stronger he is. While thinking about it, I fell asleep unconsciously. When he opened his eyes, the boat was already docked at the dock. Mr. Bai Yu, you're finally awake, hurry up and persuade Luffy, he wants to invite a devil to be his partner. Kirby stopped halfway through his words, because he remembered that the man in front of him was also a monster. Luffy looked at Bai Yu and said, I haven't decided yet. Let's take a look first. They all say that the pirate hunter is very strong. If he is a good person, how about we invite him to be our partner? No problem, you are the captain, you can make a decision. Bai Yu waved his hand, and now he just wanted to persuade Luffy to get more crew members. The more crew members he has, the stronger he will be, so whatever Marine Admiral, New World 4 Emperors, he will be killed. You, the people you invite Naya to become partners are very dangerous. Maybe you will all be killed by him. Although Kirby was very scared, he still wanted to persuade Luffy and Bai Yu. After all, these two people saved him. Luffy, let's go eat, I'm a little hungry. Bai Yu ignored Kirby, he was really hungry. Okay, let's eat first. Luffy nodded, also ignoring Kirby. The two left in good agreement. You wait for me. Kirby quickly followed, and he wanted to eat too. The three came to a restaurant. Just as he walked in, Bai Yu saw a familiar figure. Little thief cat Nami. Nami also found Bai Yu, but he just glanced at it and started eating on his own. Bai Yu didn't speak either, this little thief cat couldn't run away, and he wasn't in a hurry. After ordering some food, the three of them started to eat. Boom. The door of the restaurant was violently kicked open. A yellow-haired boy stepped in, followed by 2 marine soldiers. This young master is here, don't hurry up and entertain for free. Balloombo shouted arrogantly. The expressions of the few people eating in the restaurant changed, and they quickly got up and left. Don't be in a hurry, this young master has something to tell you. As soon as Balloom spoke, the person who was about to leave immediately stopped. Seeing all these people stop, his face was full of smugness. My young master has been very bored recently and is about to execute the criminal Zoro. You must all go to the scene to watch it then. How can you say nothing? You told the big brother before that if he persists for a month, you will let him go. A little girl ran out and pointed angrily at Biru Mabel. Lixiong. The proprietress quickly rushed out of the bar and held the little girl in her arms. I said let him last for a month, but I didn't say I wouldn't kill him within this month, a bunch of idiots. Ha ha. Bailu Mabe laughed proudly, and then the smile disappeared, looking at the mother and daughter, covering up criminals to death. What are you still doing? You haven't arrested anyone yet. Hearing this, the two marine soldiers behind him frowned, gritted their teeth, and walked over to arrest someone. Wait a moment. Luffy stood up. Do you want to fight Marine? Balloon looked at Luffy. Little sister, what did you just say about persisting for a month? Luffy ignored Balumab. Big brother Zoro in order to save me and my mother. The little girl quickly said this matter. Bai Yu, I've decided, I want Zoro to be our partner. Luffy clenched his fists and said very seriously. Good. Bai Yu nodded. He found that the butterfly effect is real. Because of his arrival, the plot has begun to change. And he is also very clear that this change will only get bigger and bigger. To cope with these changes, we must have strong strength. How dare you fight against Marine? Boom. Before Bellum could finish speaking, Luffy was knocked to the ground. Luffy, don't be impulsive. He's Colonel Monka's son, and you'll be in trouble if you hit him. Kirby hugged Luffy quickly. Then why don't he even fly with his father? Bai Yu said from the side, let's go, let's meet our future partners. Okay. Luffy nodded and followed Bai Yu out. The two marine soldiers glanced at the two, and took the initiative to move out of the way, letting the two leave. They are looking forward to this moment, expecting that these two can really knock Colonel Monka flying. Chapter 3. The Princess in the Sky holds for support. Ask for flowers. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. Marine 153 branch. On the execution ground, Zoro is tied to a stake. Because of not eating for a long time and exposure to the sun, the mouth kakuzu has been dry and cracked. Hey, you guys are in the way, get out of here. Or I'll kill you. Zoro raised his head and looked at the few people on the wall, his eyes were very bad. Luffy went straight over the wall and came to Zoro. My name is Monkeyed Luffy, I'm the man who wants to become One Piece. Zoro, become my partner. One Piece. Dare to say it. Zoro glanced at Luffy. Go away, I'm not going to be a pirate. You don't think that Bailu Mabe will really let you go? Bai Yu sat on the top of the wall and said, that kid didn't plan to let you go from the beginning. He made you last for a month. He was just humiliating you. When he had enough fun, he would kill you directly. Who are you? Zoro's eyes narrowed slightly. Bai Yu jumped off the wall and walked in front of Zoro. My name is Bai Yu, we rescue you, how about you join our pirate group? At this time, the little girl and Kirby from the restaurant ran over. Big brother, that Bailu Mabe is going to kill you, run away quickly. The little girl Li Shang had tears in her eyes. Zoro was caught here to save her, and now she's going to die, she's sad. Mr. Zoro, now only Luffy and Bai Yu can save you. Although they are pirates, they are all good people. Kirby also spoke up. Zoro glanced at Luffy and Bai Yu, but did not speak, his expression was very confused. The group of them blatantly chatted with criminals in Marine's branch. Already caught Marine's attention. Dad, they beat me. Bellum cried immediately after seeing Luffy and Bai Yu. Trash. If you weren't my son, I would have killed you first. Menka's eyes were fierce and murderous. Everyone dares to resist this uncle. Assemble. Capture the rebels. Yes. Marine soldiers took orders immediately. Whoever dares to resist Colonel Monka here will only have a dead end. Bai Yu was also in a hurry. Now that the plot has changed, this is a very bad signal. He had to speed up the process, and then said, Luffy, I'm going to find Zoro's knife, I'll leave it to you here. No problem. Luffy clenched his fist and glanced at Kirby. Kirby, take your little sister and leave. Okay. Be careful yourself. Kirby knew, too, that he couldn't help Ben here. All he can do is protect the little girl and not drag Luffy down. This is Marine base, are you going to let him break into the base by himself? Zoro looked at Luffy and said, it's okay, Bai Yu is very strong. Luffy grinned. If you want to get your knife back, you'll have to be our partner. Too bad-hearted. Asshole. Zoro cursed loudly and looked at Bai Yu who was running to the base. With a flick of his arm, Bai Yu suddenly became longer, grabbed the window of the base building, and flew straight up. Who is this guy? Zoro was really frightened, he had never seen such a human before. As Bai Yu also a rubber man? Luffy murmured, not expecting Bai Yu to have the same ability as him. Rubber man. Zoro looked at Luffy curiously. I'm the rubber man who ate rubber fruit. Luffy said, pulling his mouth wide. Zoro's eyes widened and his jaw dropped. Bai Yu ignored other people's surprise. Anyway, this matter will be exposed sooner or later. Boom. Broke the window and jumped into a room. What? Screams sounded. Bai Yu was also taken aback, turned his head to look, he smiled, it's you, so you are a thief. Humph. You're not a good person for breaking in through the window, aren't you? Nami also recognized Bai Yu. I'm just here to help my buddy get his own things back, I'm not stealing things, goodbye. Bai Yu didn't talk to Nami anymore, this little thief cat would definitely not be able to escape anyway. He just wanted to get Zoro's knife now and leave quickly. Just after reaching the door, Bai Yu stopped, turned his head and said, "There's going to be chaos here soon, if you want to leave, hurry up." Just left after saying that. What a strange man. Nami muttered something, thought about it, and quickly followed Bai Yu. "What are you doing with me?" Bai Yu asked strangely. "It's so big here, you go your way, I go mine, why do I follow you?" Nami said confidently. "All right then, you go first." Bai Yu was very gentlemanly out of the way. Asshole. Nami walked ahead angrily. Stop. Marine soldiers at the base found Nami. Help. Nami ran back quickly and hid behind Bai Yu. "You can do me a favor if you want me to save you." Bai Yu looked at Nami and said, "Okay, I promise you." Nami agreed immediately, and now his life is at stake, so it's better if he doesn't admit it when the time comes. "It's you bastard. Shoot me now. Kill him." With gauze wrapped around his face, Balloon roared angrily. "You came just in time." Bai Yu's arm threw out, lengthened quickly, and grabbed Bai Lumabel. Arm. It's getting longer. The marine soldier's eyes widened, shocked. Nami, who was hiding behind Bai Yu, was also frightened. "Shoot." Bai Yu smiled slightly and blocked Bai Lumabel in front of him. "Don't shoot." Bai Lumabel was almost scared to death, and hurriedly shouted. "Where did you put Zoro's knife?" "Yes, in my room." "Where is the room?" "Turn left ahead. Keep up. If you can't keep up, don't blame me for leaving you alone." After Bai Yu finished speaking, he rushed over with Bai Lumabel. Nami wanted to run away alone, but thinking of the current situation, there is still Bai Yu's powerful strength. In the end, he quickly followed behind Bai Yu. After finding Zoro's knife, he threw Bai Lumabel aside. Holding the window with one hand, he stretched his arm continuously. Turning his head to Nami, he said, "What are you still doing? Haven't come over yet, don't you want to run away?" "Ah, well, how to run?" Nami finally recovered, and looked at Bai Yu with some fear. "Just run." Bai Yu's voice fell, he hugged Nami, and the two of them popped out of the window and flew into the sky. "What?" Nami screamed in horror. "What are you afraid of? I can't die." Bai Yu got a princess hug in the air. Nami's pretty face instantly turned red. Just when the two were about to fall to the ground, Bai Yu took a sharp breath, and his stomach instantly became bigger, and it fell to the ground like a balloon. Boom. After landing on the ground and flicking, Bai Yu's body returned to normal, and he landed safely with Nami in his arms. Chapter 4. A 3-person pirate group. Open black lens bracket. Ask for flowers. Ask for collection. Ask for all support. Close black lens bracket. Everyone on the execution grounds, except Luffy. All eyes widened and their jaws dropped to the ground. Nami was also scared to death. Jumping down from such a high place, there is nothing at all. This is simply a monster. Damn rebels, one after the other. After Menka came back to his senses, he was extremely angry. "What are you doing? Shoot them." Caw caw caw. All of Marine's guns were aimed at Bai Yu and the others. Pull the trigger. Bang bang bang. Dense bullets flew out. One of Bai Yu and Luffy blocked Zoro and the other blocked Nami. "Haha, it's useless." Luffy laughed and shot all the bullets out. Bai Yu just patted the clothes lightly, unscathed. The marine soldiers were startled again. Menka was also frightened, because he knew that it was the power of the devil. Even if you have the power of demons, if you dare to resist this uncle, you will die. Since the gun doesn't work, hack them to death with a knife. Yes. Marine soldiers rushed over with a knife in hand. "Zoro, are you taking up the knife and becoming our partner now, or are you waiting to be hacked to death?" Bai Yu walked up to Zoro. "Are you demons?" Zoro said helplessly. "Forget it, it's better to become a pirate than to be hacked to death here." "Wow, that's great." Luffy jumped up happily and said excitedly, "Bai Yu, we have another partner." "Idiot Luffy, now is not the time to be happy, untie Zoro first." Bai Yu looked at Luffy speechlessly. The enemies are charging over with knives, and they can still laugh. This rope is so hard to unravel. Luffy grabbed around, not only did not untie the rope, but tied it tighter. "Can't you use knives?" Zoro is very speechless, he doesn't need a knife, he must use his hands. "Then it's not exciting." Bai Yu smiled. "Stimulate a fart. Hurry up and give me the knife." Zoro's face turned dark, and he was convinced when he met these two lunatics. Okay. Bai Yu saw that the marine soldiers had rushed over, and handed the knife to Zoro. After Zoro took the knife, his temperament changed immediately. He held a knife in one hand and a knife in his mouth. When Zoro blocked Marine's knife and looked at Marine with murderous eyes. "If you dare to move again, I will hack you to death." The murderous look in his eyes made Marine suffocate for a while. Really dare not move. So handsome. So awesome. Luffy's eyes lit up. Zoro looked at Luffy and Bai Yu and said, "I promise to join your pirate group, but I have to make it clear first, I have my own ambitions, if you two hinder me, you will apologize." Quote. Ambition. Luffy asked curiously. "I want to become the world's #1 swordsman." Zoro's eyes are very firm, this is his ambition and his commitment. Not bad, As a partner of One Piece, that's what we want. Luffy nodded in satisfaction. Zoro, I only have one question for you. Bai Yu looked at Zoro very seriously. What is the problem? Zoro looked at Bai Yu suspiciously, not knowing why he suddenly became serious. Have you been tied to the toilet these days? Bai Yu asked the question he was curious about before crossing. The veins on Zoro's forehead bulged one by one. What are you doing? Don't even hack them to death. Monka's roar interrupted Zoro's soaring rage. The marine soldiers who received the order raised their knives again and prepared to attack. Zoro, squat down and let you see my new move. Luffy shouted, and threw his right foot back, making it very long. Seeing this, Zoro squatted down quickly. Rubber. Cyclone. The long legs of more than 10 meters swept out, like a hurricane. Boom. All the marine soldiers flew out at this moment. Even Monka was kicked out. Zoro. They are so strong, I don't know if they can beat Arlong. Nami couldn't help thinking, then shook his head, throwing the thought out of his mind. Then he glanced at Bai Yu. Since you are pirates, let's meet again. Did you forget something? How could Bai Yu let this little thief cat go? What do you want to do? Nami's brow wrinkled. Sure enough, there are no good people in pirates. You should be able to sail, right? Bai Yu pointed to Luffy and Zoro beside him, and continued, the three of us don't know sailing skills. I want you to take us out of here and go to the next island, and then our grievances will be written off. Nami hesitated, but thought that Bai Yu had really helped her just now. And these three people are powerful, maybe they can help her make more money, so they nodded immediately and agreed. Bai Yu, you are so powerful that you were able to find a navigator. Luffy was very excited. He was worried about how the three of them would go to sea before. I'm not your partner, it's just a partnership at most. Of course, if you give me money, maybe I can be your partner temporarily. Nami looks like a money fan. In her opinion, such a powerful pirate should have a lot of money, right? Wait a minute, you said that our pirate group doesn't even have navigators, right? Zoro found the problem. Well, strictly speaking, there are only 3 of us in our pirate group right now. Bai Yu nodded. Do the 3 of us dare to be called a pirate group? Zoro felt like he was really on a pirate ship. So what can we do? Anyway, we are so strong, and our partners will be found soon. Luffy said confidently. Don't worry, although this guy is unreliable, he is still very trustworthy. Bai Yu patted Zoro on the shoulder. Help, Colonel Monka, we are not pirates. Help, Colonel Monka is crazy. Help me. Dare to resist this uncle. Damn it. There was a sudden call for help outside, as well as the frantic roar of Monka. Asterisk. Chapter 5. Zoro's exclusive skills, new book for collection. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. Outside the base, Monka's eyes were blood red and he completely lost his mind. Crazy attack on marine soldiers and residents of the town. Although Menka's strength is very general, to these ordinary people, it is an invincible existence. Otherwise, it would not have dominated this small island for so long. Now losing his mind, his strength has increased a lot. Seeing Monka's state, Bai Yu frowned. The butterfly effect was worse than he thought. Seeing this, Luffy rushed over, very fast. He clenched his fists and threw them behind him, becoming very long. Rubber bazooka. Boom. Monka flew out in an instant, knocked down a few houses before stopping, and there was no movement. Okay, we have nothing to do now, let's go. Bai Yu said and patted Zoro. Zoro fell directly to the ground and said weakly, I'm so hungry. It's a miracle you didn't starve to death. Bai Yu lifted Zoro up angrily and took him to the restaurant. Finally full, Zoro patted his stomach contentedly. But they found that Luffy and Bai Yu were still eating, and there was no sign of stopping. Why do you two eat more than I do? He originally thought he could eat it, but he didn't expect that these 2 people could eat more than him. Nami was already dumbfounded, she had never seen someone so edible. And I saw 3 people at once. Big brother, thank you for saving us all. The little girl Lixiong thanked her sincerely. You're welcome, you also invited us to dinner. Bai Yu rubbed Lixiong's head, this little girl is really cute. This is a little thought from all of us. It's all food and use. Please accept it. The proprietress came over with 3 bags. Great, then thank you. Luffy accepted it unceremoniously. Then let's go. Bai Yu wants Zoro to get on the ship now, and only after getting on the ship will the system determine that Zoro joins the pirates. He was looking forward to Zoro's exclusive skills. The 4 came to the pier. When Zoro and Nami see their boat, they're all down. Are you going to be a pirate on this ship? Nami held back her laughter. She stole a lot of pirates, and she had never seen such a shabby pirate. What pirate group did I join? Zoro covered his face, speechless. The crew will find it soon, and we'll change to a bigger ship. Luffy said confidently. Let's go first, Marine will come later, don't forget, we are pirates now. Bai Yu urged, he was in a hurry now. The 4 of them reluctantly boarded the boat. New crew Roronoa Zoro detected, ability sync successfully. Crew Roronoa Zoro exclusive skills are being matched. Roronoa Zoro's exclusive skill, One Knife Shura. One Knife Shura. The stunt of cutting a knife, from the fallen knight hero Tan world, compresses all of his own power, and erupts 10 times 100 times more powerful power in a short period of time. Due to the different rules of the world, the effect of the skills will be different, please refer to your own for details. Close black lens bracket. Bai Yu was stunned, another desperate skill. Does the system think that the members of the Straw Hats are not dying fast enough? Luffy 8 inner gates, Zoro, Shira. What exclusive skills will Nami, Usopp, Sanji get? I hope you don't play your life skills anymore. Otherwise, the Straw Hat Pirates would simply change their name to the Death Squad. Zoro, lend me your knife. Bai Yu wanted to try the feeling of holding a knife. Zoro glanced at Bai Yu without speaking, and handed the knife over. At the moment of contact with the knife, Bai Yu's temperament changed immediately. Others couldn't see this change, but Zoro, the swordsman, saw it immediately. The eyes that looked at Bai Yu also changed, which was the attraction between swordsmen. Although Bai Yu wanted to practice twice, the boat was too small, and it was not easy for 4 people to sit down. In desperation, he could only give up and return the knife to Zoro. Are you still a swordsman? Zoro asked curiously. Forget it, this is one of my abilities, similar to copying fruit, I can copy your ability, just like copying Luffy's ability. Bai Yu knew that his abilities would soon be exposed, and it would be more troublesome to explain at that time. Now it is directly said that it is the fruit ability. After the time is known by Marine, there will be no problem. There are a lot of weird devil fruit abilities in this world anyway. Bai Yu, did you eat devil fruit too? Luffy's eyes lit up. Well, it's about the ability to replicate. Bai Yu nodded. It's amazing. No wonder you can also become a rubber man. Stars appeared in Luffy's eyes immediately. In other words, you copied my swordsmanship. Zoro looked at Bai Yu, his eyes were full of fighting spirit, nothing could improve his strength more easily than exercising with himself. Well, in return, let me teach you a sword technique. Bai Yu said that he started to nod on Zoro's head. Zoro closed his eyes, just like Luffy at the time. After a while, white steam appeared on Zoro's body, and his skin began to turn red. But the breath on his body is getting stronger and stronger. So terrifying. Is this still human? Nami swallowed, and cold sweat formed on his forehead. There was a smile on Luffy's face, the stronger the partner the better. Huh, Zoro opened his eyes and let out a breath of heat. Bai Yu, play against me, let me see how strong I am now. Of course, but not now, this boat can't support the battle between the two of us. Although Bai Yu is not afraid of sea water, he does not want to swim. I want to join too. Luffy shouted excitedly. Okay, after we go ashore, we'll practice. Bai Yu naturally has no opinion, he also wants to try his own strength. The crew actively wants to become stronger, which is the best thing for him. And Zoro realized a sword Shira, he naturally realized it too. It's just that the current Zoro can only compress 1/10 of its own power, and cannot do all of it. But the advantage is that it will not enter a weak state. He also wanted to try the power of exclusive skills. Asterisk. Chapter 6. Buggy's Banquet. Open black lens bracket. New book for collection. Ask for flowers. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. Orange Town Pier. The 4 successfully landed. Okay, this is Orange Town, let's part here, you have to be careful, there is a powerful pirate in this town who claims to be immortal, bye. After Nami finished speaking, he waved to the 3 of them, turned around and left. Bai Yu, I want to invite Nami to be our navigator. Luffy looked in the direction Nami was leaving and said. That woman is a thief, is such a person not suitable to be our partner? Zoro frowned, his impression of Nami was not very good. You were a pirate hunter before. How could Bai Yu not know what Zoro was thinking? I've never considered myself a pirate hunter. Zoro looked at Bai Yu, his eyes lit up with fighting intent. Bai Yu. Let's compete. Gollum. Luffy's stomach made a sound. Immediately afterwards, Bai Yu's stomach also rang. Zoro's stomach followed suit. The few of them were on the boat all day, and the food the villagers gave was not enough for the 2 big eaters, Luffy and Bai Yu. I feel like we'd better have something to eat first. Bai Yu said very seriously. Luffy and Zoro nodded immediately. The 3 are looking for a restaurant in the town. As a result, it turned around for a long time and found nothing, not even a single person in the town. Only then did Bai Yu remember that at this time, Orange Town should have been occupied by the clown buggy. It seems that this place has been occupied by the pirate that Nami said. If we want to eat, we can only go to the pirate. Bai Yu said helplessly. Well, I also want to see that pirate with an immortal body. Luffy has no opinion, as long as he can eat. You two can still fight in this state. Gollum. Before Zoro could finish speaking, his stomach growled again. He has been cultivating a sword Asura, which consumes a lot of physical strength. And haven't eaten yet. No wonder I'm not hungry now. Hold on. Bai Yu was also very helpless. He vowed to get a big boat when he left here. Never go hungry. Damn thief. Stop me. Dare to steal from the buggy pirates. Court death. Stop. Hand over things. When the 3 heard someone shouting, they immediately looked for the sound. When Nami saw the three people's faces, he was instantly happy, and quickly ran towards the three of them. Sure enough, there are accomplices. The pirates saw that Nami was hiding behind the three, and directly regarded Bai Yu and the three as Nami's accomplices. Don't get me wrong, I don't know her, please continue. Bai Yu pulled Luffy and Zoro back and stepped aside. Bai Yu, you bastard. Nami gritted his teeth angrily. It's okay if you want us to save you. You can continue to be our navigator, of course, it's just a partnership, how about it? Bai Yu wasn't angry either, he tricked Nami into the boat first. At this time, those pirates had already rushed over. Then she is also a little anxious, if she is caught by these people, she will be finished. I promise you, Nami gritted his teeth and said. What are you saying? The voice is too low for me to hear. Bai Yu looks like I can't hear it. Bastard, I said I would join you as a navigator. Nami almost yelled, so angry. Captain, what should we do if our navigator is being bullied? Bai Yu looked at Luffy. No one can bully our navigators. Luffy clenched his fists, blocking the chasing pirates. Zoro didn't speak, glanced at Nami, then turned to look at the chasing pirates, and said coldly, you will die if you take a step forward. Pirate hunter Roronoa Zoro. The pirates who were chasing saw Zoro and were scared to death. In East Blue, Zoro is still somewhat famous. You are the pirate group that occupied this town, take us to meet your captain. Bai Yu said, okay, how dare the pirates disagree? And they believe that their captain Buggy can beat these guys. Hey, are you really going to see that Buggy? Nami was still a little scared of Buggy. Come on, navigator. Bai Yu smiled slightly, and finally tricked Nami into the boat, but he didn't know if the system would admit it. He would never have too much of something like an exclusive skill. Soon, the group came to the tallest building in the town. Before walking in, you could hear the roar of pirates inside. The pirate who led the way glanced back, then immediately accelerated and ran in. It seems that we are having a banquet. It seems that we have something to eat. Bai Yu's nose moved and he smelled the food. Bai Yu, Zoro, Nami, let's go. Luffy said and rushed in first. Are you sure they'll welcome us? Zoro looked at Bai Yu and asked. It doesn't matter if you're welcome or not. We've all come anyway. If you're not welcome, why don't you just have a fight? Bai Yu said and walked in. Zoro shook his head helplessly and walked in. Pirates are indeed pirates, so there are no good people. Nami looked at the three of them, and the good feeling that had just risen in her heart disappeared instantly. Still, he walked in. Captain Buggy, there's an enemy invasion. The pirate shouted loudly. Buggy, who was eating and drinking, was frightened and sprayed the wine out. Boom. The door was knocked open, and the pirate who reported the message was knocked out instantly. Meat. It's delicious. Luffy's eyes lit up when he saw the table of delicacies. It seems that we came at the right time, and the banquet seems to have just started. Bai Yu also came out. Zoro is close behind. When Buggy saw Luffy's straw hat, his eyes narrowed slightly, he would never forget that straw hat. Who are you? We're here for the banquet. Luffy said it very honestly, then sat down and started to eat and drink. Don't mind us, everyone can eat and drink. Zoro, sit here. Bai Yu was also rude, pulled Zoro and sat down and started eating. They are really hungry. Anyway, let's have a meal first. Asshole. Buggy was furious when he saw several people ignoring him directly. Kill them for me. Asterisk. Chapter 7. 8 Inner Gates. Open. New book set sail for support. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. Chapter 7. 8 Inner Gates. Open. Wait a moment. Bai Yu shouted. Do you want to ask for forgiveness now? Buggy is very proud. Daring to run wild on his territory is simply courting death. Beg for mercy. Bai Yu smiled. How is that possible? I just want to tell you, it's better for us to leave after eating, otherwise, you will be miserable. Bastard. How dare you threaten me? Buggy's face darkened. Little ones. Kill them for me. Yes, Captain Buggy. The pirate minions immediately took orders, picked up their weapons and prepared to start. I'm full. Leave it to me. Zoro stood up, unsheathed his 3 knives, and looked at these pirates coldly. Better don't move, or I'll hack you to death. These pirate minions were immediately frightened. Zoro's notoriety is still a deterrent to these pirate minions. Roronoa Zoro, are you here to take my head? Buggy's eyes narrowed slightly, he had heard something about Zoro. I'm no longer a pirate hunter, and I'm not interested in your head. Zoro turned to look at the 2 people who were eating and drinking. It was also a little speechless. At this time, these 2 people could still eat so much. You are not interested in me, but I am very interested in you. If you kill you, you should be famous in East Blue. A smile appeared on Buggy's face. Captain Buggy. Captain Buggy. The pirate minions immediately started shouting and cheering. I advise you to listen to our deputy captain and let us finish eating and leave, otherwise you will be really miserable and may die. Zoro shook his head and opened his mouth to persuade. The main thing is that in the face of Buggy, he has no desire to do anything at all, too weak. Gorgeous to die. Buggy shouted excitedly, took out 2 short swords and rushed towards Zoro. Looking at Buggy rushing over, there were flaws all over his body, he shook his head helplessly, and rushed over quickly. Swish. Buggy's body was immediately split in two and fell to the ground. The audience immediately fell silent. Zoro frowned, thinking how strong this so-called undead pirate was. In the end, it was over. Are you still going? Zoro's eyes turned to the pirates of the buggy pirates. Ha ha ha. The pirate minions laughed loudly. The captain was killed, how can they still laugh, saying that this guy is too weak? Luffy looked at the laughing pirates strangely. Luffy, remember, don't underestimate anyone, especially your enemies. Bai Yu naturally knew that Buggy would not be killed so easily. Oh, Luffy nodded knowingly. Just at this time, Buggy, who was lying on the ground, moved, and one of the hands holding the knife flew out quickly. Zoro, be careful, Luffy yelled immediately. Zoro turned his head and saw the flying hand, and was also startled, and quickly avoided it. Although barely dodged, he was still scratched. Who the hell are you? Zoro covered his wound, his face a little ugly. I ate chop fruit, a man who can't be chopped to death. Your knife is useless to me. As Buggy said, he split his body into many parts. It turned out to be a divided person. Is that guy a monster? Luffy groaned. You're not going anywhere, are you? Bai Yu looked at Luffy speechlessly. It's too embarrassing to say that others are monsters. Sneak attack from behind is too despicable. Big red nose. Luffy growled. Buggy's face turned black immediately, and what he hated most was when people said his nose. With a gloomy face, a flying knife flew out directly. Luffy dodged easily. Okay, it's time to work when you're full. Bai Yu stood up and walked over to Zoro. How is it? It's okay, it's just a minor injury, it won't die. Zoro waved his hand, indicating that he was fine. You better take a rest and lend me a knife. Bai Yu helped Zoro sit on the chair and took one of Zoro's knives. Idiot. Lousy is a splintered man who can't be cut to death, and he wants to fight me with a knife. Buggy looked at Bai Yu's face full of mockery. Who said I was going to fight you? Bai Yu smiled. Luffy, I'll leave this guy to you, I'll take care of the others. No problem. Luffy clenched his fists excitedly and walked towards Buggy. What a shame. A man appeared on a unicycle with a knife in his hand, Buggy Pirates Chief of Staff Acrobatic Cabbage. PFF'd. Too much nonsense. Bai Yu put away the knife, and Cabbage fell to the ground. Turning to look at the other pirates, it's your turn. As soon as the voice fell, Bai Yu rushed into the crowd. Like a wolf entering a flock, no one can stop it. Little Kaba, asshole. Buggy roared and was about to attack Bai Yu. Your opponent is me. Luffy stops Buggy. Looking at your straw hat, I thought of that damn red-haired man. Buggy looked at Luffy very angry, as if he had seen a life and death vengeance. Redhead, you know Shanks? Luffy asked in surprise. Go to hell. Buggy took advantage of Luffy's absent-minded moment and immediately launched a sneak attack. The fist holding the three knives is very fast. Sneak attack again, too despicable. Luffy roared and ducked, but the speed of Buggy's sneak attack was too fast. Although Luffy dodged the attack, the straw hat was cut open. You bastard. How dare you hurt this hat? This is my baby. Luffy was heartbroken when he looked at the straw hat that was cut, and looked at Buggy even more with anger. Baby. Buggy sneered. Since it's a baby, it needs to be better protected. The voice fell, and the fist that flew past flew back again. Puff. The blade on the fist went straight through the straw hat on Luffy's hand and flew to Buggy's hand. This tattered straw hat is still regarded as a treasure, it's really laughable. Ha ha ha. Buggy laughed wildly, then threw the straw hat on the ground and stepped on it with his feet. Damn you. Luffy clenched his fists and looked angry. 8 inner gates open. Open. 8 inner gates Hugh Gate. Open. Chapter 8. Nami's exclusive skills, new book for collection. Ask for flowers. Ask for a review ticket. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. Luffy in a state of anger, directly open 8 inner gates. And it went straight to the second gate. Shut the door. Luffy's skin quickly turned red, and there was a faint heat from his body. What's this? Buggy's words weren't over yet. Luffy appeared right in front of Buggy, lightning fast. So fast. Emergency escape. Buggy was frightened, and hurriedly activated the fruit ability. But how could Luffy, who opened the door, get him what he wanted? Boom. Luffy kicked Buggy in the jaw, sending it flying into the air. Ruined. Buggy's ability can only be activated when both feet are on the ground, and the fruit ability cannot be activated at all in the air. Luffy jumped high and punched Buggy in the stomach again. Cough cough. Beauty Lotus. Luffy didn't give Buggy a chance to speak at all. The arms wrapped tightly around Buggy. The body quickly rotated and landed quickly towards the ground. Boom. The powerful force knocked the ground out of a deep pit. Buggy lay on the ground, motionless, not knowing whether he was alive or dead. Captain Buggy. The minions of the Buggy Pirates exclaimed when they saw that Buggy was defeated. Asshole. Luffy lifted the 8 inner gates state and picked up his hat, distressed. It's okay, it can be repaired, don't you think, Nami? Bai Yu had already discovered Nami, this greedy little thief cat, dragging a large bag of treasures. It was hard not to find it. Asshole. Nami muttered and smiled. Of course there's no problem, I can help fix it. Really? Thank you so much, Nami. Luffy was very excited and quickly thanked him. You are very welcome. Nami was also a little embarrassed. Come on, wake up Zoro, this time it's finally time to change to a big ship. Bai Yu walked over and woke Zoro, who was sleeping. This time I finally don't have to make a boat. Big ship, where's the big ship? Luffy asked suspiciously. Of course it's the ship of the buggy pirates. With so many of them, the pirate ship is definitely not small. Bai Yu said very speechlessly. Yes, then let's go. Luffy hurriedly put on his hat and ran. Bai Yu wakes Zoro up, with the treasure of the buggy pirates behind him. But when they got to the dock, Buggy's pirate ship was gone. Bastard, don't let me know who stole my pirate ship. Bai Yu clenched his fists and was very angry. The big ship that I got was actually stolen. Although it was very helpless, the four of them could only set off by boat again. Ding. New crew member Nami detected, ability sync successfully. Crew Nami's exclusive skills are being matched. Successful match, crew Nami's exclusive skill, railgun. Super electromagnetic cannon. The signature move from the protagonist Masaka Makoto in the Magic Forbidden book catalog. Due to the different rules of the world, the effect of the skill has changed. Please experience it yourself. Close black lens bracket. It turned out to be Sister Cannon's signature skill. Bai Yu was also very surprised. He didn't expect that Nami had acquired such a powerful skill. Luffy's 8 inner gates and Zoro's 1 blade Shira are also very powerful, but they are both desperate abilities. But strictly speaking, the railgun is not just a skill, but an ability. Because if you want to use this skill, you must have the superpower of Masaka Makoto. This is equivalent to eating a devil fruit that is not afraid of sea water. Okay, it's fixed. Nami hands Luffy the mended straw hat. Amazing. Thank you Nami. Luffy was very happy to see the restored straw hat. Not so polite. Nami smiled knowingly. Since Nami helped Luffy mend the straw hat and joined our pirate group, as the deputy captain, I'll give you a little reward. Bai Yu said with a smile. Award. Nami looked surprised. How much? Bai Yu's face darkened. No money. It doesn't matter if there is no money, and we are just a cooperative relationship, I am not your partner. Nami corrected herself, turning her head away from Bai Yu. The reward is still valid, come to me when you want it. Bai Yu didn't force it. The main thing is that he is afraid that Nami can't control the power and destroy the boat, then they will swim to the village of Shirobu. Next up is Usopp coming aboard. There is also the first pirate ship belonging to the Straw Hat Pirates, going merry. After a day of sailing, the boat finally saw the island wobbly. Great, I can finally go ashore. I want meat, Luffy shouted loudly. Something's wrong. There's a pirate ship ahead. Bai Yu narrowed his eyes when he saw the pirate ship on the coast. Is this place also occupied by pirates? Zoro stood up and looked at Bai Yu. Let me do this battle. Never. Impossible. Luffy and Bai Yu said in unison. Luffy is a true fighting maniac. And Bai Yu wants to improve the power of the fusion of Zoro and Luffy through constant battles. As for Nami's power, it is completely ignored, unless the master has the ability of Masaka Makoto. You two bastards. Do you want to fight first? Zoro's forehead burst with blue veins. Okay, I know that you are very embarrassed about fighting the buggy pirates. This time I will give you the knife. Can we do the rest? Bai Yu also knew that Zoro was very aggrieved. And the Black Cat Pirates is also a good experience for Zoro. Luffy has already comprehended the second gate of 8 inner gates, and I hope Zoro can comprehend Yidao a little deeper this time. Good. Zoro nodded. Nami looked at the 3 people helplessly, she felt that these 3 people were a lunatic. The pirate ship is obviously not small, and the pirates are definitely not too few. There are only 3 of them, and they dare to fight against so many people. Then I'll go ahead. With a flick of his arm, Luffy grabbed the pirate ship off the coast. Rubber rocket. Boom. Luffy bounced straight away. Zoro, do you want a ride? Bai Yu looked at Zoro and said. Good. Zoro was really afraid that Luffy would blow everyone away, and he wouldn't be able to do that. Nami, it's up to you to take the money, we'll go first. Bai Yu said and immediately caught the pirate ship. Zoro hugged Bai Yu, and the 2 bounced off. 3 lunatics. Nami was a little speechless looking at the behavior of the 3, but thinking of money, her eyes lit up. Such a big pirate ship should have a lot of money, right? Asterisk. Chapter 9. Bai Yu's Luffy. Open black lens bracket for collection. Ask for flowers. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. Bastard. I was blocked by this person for so long. Zangao was very dissatisfied with his opponents. He knew very well that if he offended Crow, all of them would be killed. Even if you die, I won't let you destroy the village. Usopp was covered in bruises, with a slingshot in his hand, and his eyes were resolute. He knew that if he fell, the village would be over. Then go to hell. Deal with him. Zango was furious, it was his shame to be delayed for so long by a piece of shit. Not good. No more ammo. Usopp touched his backpack and found that he was out of ammo. Just at this time, something seemed to be flying in the distance. Oops. Seems like a person. Usopp was startled and wanted to dodge, but it was too late. Boom. Luffy slammed into Usopp's body hard. Immediately afterwards, Bai Yu and Zoro also flew over. Cough. Bai Yu, you bastard. You put me under it. Zoro growled loudly. That's the toll. You're talking, isn't there Luffy under you? Bai Yu smiled slightly, not angry. It's strange, how come there seems to be someone under me? Luffy said strangely after standing up. Bastard, you can't see. Usopp roared, but after seeing the three people, he was stunned. It was only then that he remembered that the other party seemed to be flying over from the sea. Isn't that with those pirates? You. Usopp's voice trembled. I'm Monkeyed Luffy, the man who's going to be One Piece. Luffy's standard self-introduction. One Piece. Usopp was taken aback. Are you fighting these pirates alone? Luffy said curiously. Of course, I am the bravest sea warrior. It's too easy to deal with these people. Usopp stood up immediately, imposing. Wow, it's amazing. Luffy's eyes lit up instantly. In that case, brave sea warrior, let us see how you fought. Bai Yu sat directly on the ground, ready to watch the play. Zoro glanced at Bai Yu and sat down on the ground. Luffy was also sitting on the ground. And Usopp's face suddenly became ugly. He just wanted to brag and completely forgot that there were still pirates going to attack the village. While they were chatting, those pirates had already rushed up. Just let you see what a real sea warrior is. Usopp tried not to shake his body. Take out a bunch of triangular nails and throw them out. Ah, asshole, it's so mean. It hurts. Don't hit me. Despicable sea warriors. The pirates yelled loudly. Although Bai Yu knew this was going to be the case for a long time, he was a little surprised to see it with his own eyes. Don't worry about it so much. Rush up and kill them. Captain Crow's plan is delayed, and you all know the consequences. Zan roared loudly. Hearing Zan Gao's words, cold sweat broke out on the foreheads of the other pirates. Ignoring the nails on the ground, he rushed up quickly. Zoro, leave these people to you, I won't rob you. Bai Yu said very seriously. Bastard, these people are all little rascals. Although Zoro said he didn't want to, but his body was very honest and stepped forward. A knife shura. Boom. A powerful force erupted from within. Usopp, who was standing beside him, fell to the ground in fright. What about you? It's just a few scumbags. Bai Yu didn't expect Zoro to shoot shura directly. I can only compress 1/10 of my strength now, and I feel that only fighting can make me break through. Zoro held the knife in his hand tightly, his eyes very firm. He's going to get stronger, get stronger. I understand, but I'm afraid these people can't put pressure on you, solve them, and I'll fight with you. Bai Yu nodded. Since Zoro wanted to become stronger, he had no reason not to. Zoro didn't speak, nodded and rushed over. Although only 1/10 of the force is compressed. But it burst out in an instant, with strength and speed several times stronger than usual. Dang dang. All the pirates that rushed up instantly flew out. So strong. Usopp's eyes widened in disbelief. He tried his best to hold back these people. This person in front of me is just a trick. Bastard. You won't be knocked down so easily. Zan Gao roared. The injured pirate immediately struggled to get up. Come here, look here, wait for me to count to 2, say a high praise, you will fully recover from your injuries and become stronger. Zango took out the ring and started hypnosis on the pirate. Roar. After the hypnosis was completed, all the pirates roared, the muscles of the whole body skyrocketed, and the momentum was very powerful. The injury just now seems to have recovered. Charge Zoro faster than before. Have you gotten stronger? Zoro looked expectantly at the rushing person. However, at this moment, Luffy suddenly stood up. What? Luffy roared and rushed over. Damn it. Forgot Luffy's going to be hypnosis. Bai Yu quickly grabbed Luffy. Luffy. Wake up. What? Luffy turned his head to look at Bai Yu and threw a punch. Boom. Have you lost your mind? Bai Yu blocked the punch with a smile on his face. He was about to fight Luffy. Now Luffy is hypnosis, just right. Rubber Cyclone. Luffy kicked over. Don't forget, this is what I taught you. Konoha Cyclone. Boom. The legs slammed together, creating a storm. Usopp on the side was blown away. Bastard. How did the two of you fight? Zoro growled. Luffy was also hypnosis. Boom. Before Bai Yu could finish his words, Luffy punched him. 8 inner gates. Open. Open. 8 inner gates. Shut gates. Open. Bai Yu felt the force of opening the 2 doors, turned his head, and looked at Luffy. You dare to hit me, you are finished. Asterisk. Chapter 10. Zoro awakens haki. Open black lens bracket for collection. Ask for flowers. Ask for all support. Close black lens bracket. Bai Yu opens 8 inner gates for the first time. Even though the second gate was only opened, I was still a little excited to feel the powerful power in my body. Finally got some self-defense. Of course, it's okay in East Blue, but it's definitely not enough in Grand Line. However, he has only been in this world for a few days, and he can have such strength. I believe that it will take a long time to get more power. Next he had to figure out how to get his hands on Marine 6 Styles and Conqueror's haki. As for the fight at hand, Luffy is fighting on instinct right now. He opened the 8 inner gates, which is complete abuse. No more. No more. Luffy came to his senses and quickly stopped fighting. Woke up. Bai Yu looked at Luffy with a smile. He just played really well. Bai Yu, why do I feel your 8 inner gates are stronger than mine? Luffy asked suspiciously. Every time the 8 inner gates opens, their strength will change dramatically, but all of this is related to their own strength. The stronger you are, the stronger the 8 inner gates will be, understand? Bai Yu didn't want Luffy to rely too much on 8 inner gates. The early stage is fine, but if you don't have haki in the later stage, it will be a huge loss. Especially against Logia, who can't hit anyone without haki. I seem to understand. Luffy tilted his head and pinched his chin, thinking about Bai Yu's words. Forget it, you will naturally understand later. Bai Yu looked at Luffy, whose IQ was offline, and was a little helpless. At this time, Zoro also solved all the pirates. Bai Yu, come and fight me. What are you in a hurry? You just used a sword Asura, take a rest. Bai Yu was speechless. Okay, then I'll sleep for a while. Zoro said and lay on the ground and started to sleep. Fall asleep in a second and start snoring. That. You. Usopp hides aside, still sticking his head out, sweating profusely. Are you Usopp? Luffy said immediately. Hey, how do you know my name? Usopp froze for a moment, forgetting even his fear. I've met your father Usopp. I've heard too much about you, so I recognized you when I saw you. You and your father look so much alike. There was also a smile on Luffy's face, and he was in a good mood when he saw a familiar person. Have you met my dad? Where is he? Usopp ran over excitedly, holding Luffy's shoulder. Well, your dad's marksmanship is really good, he's on Shanks' boat now. Luffy nodded with a smile. Red-haired Shanks' ship. My dad is on such a powerful pirate ship. Woohoo. Usopp was very emotional. After all these years, he finally got the news of his father. By the way, what happened to these pirates? Luffy asked curiously. Happened. Kaya. Usopp reacted suddenly, and immediately turned around to save people. But as soon as he turned around he stopped. Because a man in a suit with eyes came over with a package. I said why my subordinates didn't come. It turned out to be solved by you. Usopp, I really underestimated you. I didn't expect you to find someone to help you. As he said, he pushed his eyes with a strange gesture, and his face darkened immediately. In this case, hack you all to death. Zoro, get up, you have an opponent. Bai Yu woke Zoro immediately. Although the character and strength of this crow are not very good, he is fast. If Zoro doesn't use a knife Shura, he should feel the pressure. Who? Zoro opened his eyes. It's him. He said just now that he wants to hack us to death. It should be a knife. I'll leave it to you, but I suggest you don't use a sword Asura. It's just a skill, and your own strength is the foundation. Bai Yu believes that Zoro will understand this truth, but Zoro is too eager to become stronger. And he also knows that even if the current Zoro is a complete master, he has no chance of winning against Hawkeye. I see. Zoro said and stood up and came to Crow. Come on, let me see how you hacked me to death. Crow didn't speak, opened the package, and took out the blade that looked like a cat's claw. Damn you all. The voice fell, and Crow disappeared in place. Puff. 5 bloodstains appeared on Zoro's body. That's what hacked you to death. Chloe pushed up his glasses. You got me a little excited. Zoro took out the 3rd knife from his waist and bit it on his mouth. He was going to go all out. 3 knives won't help, Crow said and disappeared again. When Zoro blocked the blow, 3 knives and 3 knives are very different. Chloe narrowed his eyes slightly, started silently, and disappeared from Zoro's eyes again. Captain Chloe, save me. Zangao, the hypnosis master who was cut by Zoro, woke up. It seems that you are still a little light. Crow immediately appeared beside Zango. Captain. Puff. 5 sharp blades pierced Zango's heart. Zangao's eyes widened, and he never thought that he would die at the hands of his most trusted captain. Bastard. He actually killed his partner. Luffy was instantly angry. I'm no longer a pirate. As long as I get Kaya's property, I can enjoy it in peace. Everyone who knows my identity will die. You helped me solve these people and saved me a lot of time. As long as you kill you next, no one will know my identity. Spoon to death. As soon as Crow's voice fell, he lowered his head, and his body began to shake, as if he was about to fall down at any time. Suddenly, the body stopped shaking. Chloe's figure disappeared instantly. A wound suddenly appeared on Zoro's body again. Immediately afterwards, Luffy also had wounds on his body. Usopp, come to me. Bai Yu spoke immediately. With their physical strength, as long as they don't hit the key points, they will be fine with a few slashes. But Usopp's physique is estimated to be dead. So fast. Zoro subconsciously will open a sword Shura. But thinking of Bai Yu's words immediately interrupted the thought. Look around carefully. Puff. A bloodstain appeared on his body again. But Zoro ignored it and closed his eyes. Got you. Zoro slashed out instantly. Puff. Chloe fell to the ground. Bai Yu was stunned for a moment. Because Zoro has awakened observation haki. Chapter 11. Usopp aboard. Open black lens bracket for collection. Ask for flowers. Ask for all support. Close black lens bracket. Thanks to the readers Zaisheng Mengzi for the reward. Thanks to the readers Zaisheng Mengzi for the reward. Thanks to the reader's Zesheng Mengzi for the reward. Zoro's abilities are completely synchronized with Bai Yu's. So the moment Zoro awakened observation haki, he naturally understood. Bai Yu was also very surprised. He didn't expect that Zoro realized observation haki before he realized Zontai. How did Zoro do it? Luffy was surprised. Because Zoro has awakened one of the Conqueror's hakis, the observation haki. Bai Yu explained that it was also a good thing for them to let Luffy and the others contact haki earlier. Conqueror's haki. It's not just Luffy who is curious, Zoro and Usopp are very curious. Since you want to know, I will tell you and let you know how big this world is. Bai Yu said slowly, Conqueror's haki, respectively observation haki, armament haki and Conqueror's haki. Observation haki. Zoro, the haki you just awakened, did you just notice the movement of that person? Zoro nodded and said, yes, even if you close your eyes, you can clearly feel the surrounding environment. The highest state of seeing, hearing and seeing is divided into two types, one is to listen to the sound of all things, and the other is to see the future. It is rumored that Roger, the pirate king of the year, had the ability to listen to everything. Luffy's eyes lit up, and he shouted excitedly, it's amazing. I want to practice observation haki too. Bai Yu ignored Luffy and continued. Armament haki can increase defense power, increase attack power, or cover haki on weapons to increase the power of weapons. The most important thing is that when fighting with the ability person, only using the armament haki can attack the ability person's entity. It's like a normal person punching Luffy, he doesn't feel it at all, if he uses armament haki, he will definitely hurt. I see. When my grandfather beat me when I was young, it was very painful. Luffy immediately raised his hand and shouted. Then your grandfather must be a master at armament haki. Bai Yu did not identify Garp. Isn't there another Conqueror's haki? Zoro asked. Conqueror's haki is the most special existence. Only a few people have it. It is an innate haki that cannot be obtained through cultivation. Bai Yu, don't you have amnesia? How do you know this? Luffy's IQ suddenly went up. That's what I remembered when Zoro awakened haki. Bai Yu had already thought about his words, but he didn't expect Luffy to ask. Really? Then do you know the method of cultivation? Luffy asked curiously. Have no idea. Bai Yu's answer was straightforward. Although he knows haki, it doesn't mean he knows how to cultivate. When the three fell directly to the ground. I originally hoped that Bai Yu could teach them to practice haki, but it was useless to talk for a long time. Okay. Don't worry, haki is still early for you. If you want to practice haki, you have to become stronger. Although Bai Yu also wanted to get haki, he also knew very well that haste is not enough. Although Zoro has accidentally awakened observation haki, it is still too early for them to truly practice haki. Aren't you all so strong enough? Usopp swallowed in horror. Now this level of strength is far from enough to meet the real powerhouses on the sea. Bai Yu shook his head, and East Blue's strength was beyond his reach. On the Grand Line, it's nothing. Not to mention participating in Summit War. Bai Yu, I will become stronger. I will definitely become One Piece. Luffy clenched his fists and roared loudly. In this case, if I don't become the world's #1 swordsman, you will be very troubled, right? Zoro also had a smile on his face. I want to be a brave sea warrior. Usopp was also infected by the rhetoric of the two men. By the way, Bai Yu, what are your ambitions? Zoro asked curiously. Bai Yu was stunned. If I have to say one ambition, it's freedom. Free. The three were very puzzled. In their opinion, freedom is a very simple thing. Usopp. At this time, a woman's voice came over. Kaya. Usopp yelled immediately. What the hell happened? After the woman saw the situation at the pier, she was immediately frightened by the sight in front of her. Are you okay, Kaya? Usopp asked hastily. I'm fine. I'm sorry, Usopp. I'm the one who blamed you. I shouldn't have believed you. Kaya sincerely apologized. It's okay. These pirates are just, how can they be my opponents? Usopp said proudly. They are. Kaya looked at the three of Luffy and Bai Yu Zoro. They are all my subordinates. You sure? Bai Yu interrupted Usopp's bragging. That. Usopp immediately broke out in a cold sweat, but he saw Bai Yu's horror. Hello. Thank you for saving our village. I really don't know how to thank you. Kaya understood immediately and thanked very politely. If you want to thank us, it's best to give us a boat. We don't have a boat yet. Bai Yu put forward his request very directly. Although the ship of the Black Cat pirates is good, it is far worse than the Mary. After all, there is a ship spirit on the Mary. Of course, no problem. Kaya nodded with a smile. Before that, let's go get something to eat. I want to eat meat. Luffy shouted loudly. You bastards. Do you want to leave me alone? Nami's angry voice sounded. These people jumped off the boat and ran away, leaving her alone on the boat. She originally thought that the Black Cat pirates would have a lot of money, but she turned the whole ship over and couldn't find much treasure. Now that these people are going to dinner, they haven't brought her with them. It's no wonder they're not angry. After eating, the group came to the pier. Wow, what a beautiful boat. Luffy's eyes instantly turned into stars. This Going Merry was designed by the housekeeper Mei Li. Although it is not luxurious, it is also very comfortable. I have prepared the daily necessities for you. Kaya introduced with a smile. Thank you so much, Kaya. You are such a nice guy. Luffy jumped on the boat excitedly and sat directly on the sheep's head on the bow. Thanks a lot, then see you again, Miss Kaya. Bai Yu smiled slightly and boarded the boat directly. Zoro and Nami can't wait to board going merry too. Finally, there is no need for 4 people to squeeze into a small boat. Me. Usopp opened his mouth, only saying one word of me, but he couldn't say anything else. Usopp, why haven't you gotten on the boat yet? Luffy asked suspiciously. Me, can I? Usopp was nervous. Of course, we are already partners, get on the boat and set off. Luffy grinned. A smile also appeared on Bai Yu's face. Another one on board, wondering what skills Usopp will gain. Asterisk. Chapter 12. As soon as the pirate flag is hoisted, first meet Marine. Open black lens bracket. Ask for flowers. Ask for collection. Ask for everything. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. After Usopp got on board. Bai Yu got Usopp's exclusive skills. Spear fighting. A powerful skill that combines physical, spear, and swordsmanship. Close black lens bracket. The introduction is very simple. But Bai Yu knew that this skill was very powerful. If Usopp can really comprehend the art of gunfighting, his strength will definitely not be bad. How could the combined skills of physique, spear, and swordsmanship be poor? Usopp, I remember you wanted to be a brave sea warrior. Bai Yu looked at Usopp and said. Usopp stammered speechless. It seems that you are still not brave enough. Now that you are on the boat, I will give you a gift. Bai Yu said and put his finger on Usopp's forehead. Thank you, Vice Captain. Usopp is very sincere thanks. You're welcome. Since you have learned the art of spear fighting, you will be called Yan Shuangying Usopp in the future. Bai Yu suddenly wanted to make a joke. Yan Shuangying. What kind of eagle is that? Luffy asked curiously. It's not an eagle. Yan Shuangying is a name, it's an invincible existence. A terrifying warrior. Bai Yu said very seriously. Really? Then I will be called Yan Shuangying Usopp. I want to become an invincible sea warrior. Usopp stood up and swore aloud. Has the ambition also grown? Zoro glanced up at Usopp and went back to sleep. Boring. Nami muttered. Nami, I still keep that gift from you. You can choose to accept it at any time. Bai Yu looked at Nami and said. HMPH, I won't join your pirate group, we are just a cooperative relationship. Nami said stubbornly. Well, when you want this power, come to me, I said, it works at any time. Bai Yu smiled slightly, he knew the day was coming soon. While he could force a pass to Nami, he didn't want to. Maybe it's when Nami really wants to realize that power. After all, that is the ability of the gunner. Compared to a few of them to beat the Arlong gang. He prefers that Nami use his power to defeat Arlong. I don't need it. Nami turned his head, very stubborn. Finally finished. Luffy roared and held up the pirate flag he had drawn. Puff. The sip of water that Bai Yu had just drank just sprayed out. Luffy's painting ability is really indescribable. Ha ha ha, what are you drawing? Usopp laughed. Pirate flag. Luffy said very seriously. Don't hang up this flag, or I'll leave now. The disgust on Nami's face was really ugly. Let me come, I'm very strong in painting. Usopp volunteered. Really? Luffy asked curiously. Of course. Usopp confidently took the brush in Luffy's hand and started painting. Soon a beautiful pirate flag appeared, but it was a skull with a long nose. Boom. Bai Yu kicked Usopp out. Is it too anxious to usurp the throne as soon as I got on the ship? Bai Yu took the brush and started painting. He had studied art before, and he just drew a simple skull. It was too simple. Wow. Bai Yu, you are amazing. As expected of my deputy captain. Luffy was very happy looking at the pirate flag. Bai Yu. Draw one on the sails too. Sure, no problem. Bai Yu nodded and started painting. Thanks to Luffy's abilities, it's easy to draw on the sails with extended arms. The logo of the Straw Hat Pirates is complete. Only now is the Straw Hat Pirates truly successful. Are we going to celebrate now? Bai Yu said. Ha ha ha, let's have a banquet. Luffy laughed happily. You've only just finished eating. Nami let out a loud roar. ... Cheers. The 5 people toasted happily. Bai Yu, I salute you. Cheers. Zoro raised his glass. Cheers. Bai Yu smiled and toasted Zoro. Just when 5 people were having fun. A warship came quickly in the distance. Looks like something is coming. Zoro's eyes looked into the distance. No, it's a marine warship. Usopp saw Marine's flag with the binoculars and immediately screamed in horror. Marine, if you come over, just chop it off. Zoro said in a daze. When? Bastard. That's Marine. Nami knocked Zoro on the head angrily. Marine appears at this time. Bai Yu frowned. It seems that there have been too many changes in the plot now. In his memory, he only met Marine when he went to the restaurant on the sea. I didn't expect to encounter it here. What's wrong? Nami asked quickly. There is something wrong. Bai Yu nodded. Never mind. Run. If Marine catches it, it's over. Nami wasn't finished yet. A cannonball flew over. Boom. The water waves from the explosion shook the Golden Mary. Fire without warning. It's too much. Usopp roared, his legs going weak. He had only been out at sea for less than a day, and he didn't want to be caught by Marine and put in jail. Let's cut them off. Zoro stood up and drew his sword. Stop the boat and see what these Marines are going to do. Bai Yu said that Fangjung and the others are not well known now, and they have not been offered a reward. At most, Zoro is famous, and he is also a pirate hunter. Are you crazy? We'll be caught if we stop. Nami growled loudly. Don't worry, Captain, what do you think? Bai Yu ignored Nami and looked at Luffy. Then stop. Luffy looked indifferent. A bunch of lunatics, let's say it first, and if you get caught by Marine, I won't save you. Nami reluctantly stopped the boat. Marine's warship quickly drove over and stopped beside the Mary. In front of the warship, the Mary looked a little small. I am Naval Headquarters Lieutenant, Iron Fist Hobody, pirates surrender. Hobody shouted from the deck of the warship. The Naval Headquarters. When Bai Yu heard the name of this dragon set, a smile appeared on his face. Since it is the Marine of the headquarters, it is possible to have the training method of Marine 6 styles. This is what he desperately needs right now. While Marine 6 styles are not very powerful, they are very basic stuff. It is very helpful for practicing haki in the future. Since this guy came to the door, he naturally wouldn't be polite. Chapter 13. Heist Marine, Marine 6 styles. Open black lens bracket for collection. Ask for flowers. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. Bastard. I'm talking to you. Can't you hear me? Hobdy was furious. These little pirates dared to ignore him. You guys stay on board, I'll go over and talk to this lieutenant. After Bai Yu said that, he jumped onto the warship directly. Are you Naval Headquarters Lieutenant? Bai Yu asked. Not bad. Pirate, do you want to surrender? Hobdy sneered. Surrender. Bai Yu shook his head. Since you are a lieutenant of the headquarters, you should have practiced Marine 6 styles, right? Looks like you know quite a bit. Are you going to try Marine 6 styles? Hobody clenched his fists. Okay, come on, let me see your strength. Bai Yu nodded, watching Marine 6 styles have some effect on cultivation. Court death. Hobo shook his fist angrily. Boom. Bai Yu grabbed his fist. This is not Marine 6 styles. Bastard. Let you taste my iron fist. Hobody seemed to have been stabbed in a sore spot, and immediately became angry. Boom. Bai Yu kicked Hobody out. You are too weak. If I guessed correctly, although you have practiced Marine 6 styles, you haven't learned any of them, so you came to this small place called East Blue. Bastard. What are you doing? Kill him for me. Hobody roared. Marine soldiers immediately picked up their guns and aimed them at Bai Yu. Boom. Dense bullets hit Bai Yu's body. Bai Yu shot hard, and all the bullets flew out. It's best not to move around, or I'll be unable to resist killing people. Bai Yu looked around at Marine. He wasn't a murderer, and these Marines didn't have any grudges against him. And his main purpose is to get the training method of Marine 6 styles. You. Who are you? Hobody sat on the ground and looked at Bai Yu in horror. My name is Bai Yu, the deputy captain of the Straw Hat Pirates. You hand over the training method of Marine 6 styles, and I will let you go. After all, we don't have any grudges. Bai Yu smiled and looked at Hobody. You're dreaming. I won't give you Marine 6 styles even if I die. Hobody roared. Then I can only fulfill you. Click. Bai Yu stepped on Hobody's foot. Ah, asshole. Hobody screamed. What is Bai Yu doing? Are you fighting? Luffy looked at the warship curiously. Well, it is. Zoro closed his eyes and continued to sleep. Bai Yu could solve it anyway. On the warship, because of Hobody's scream, a woman came out of the cabin, and she looked okay. Ah, Hoppledy. The woman screamed. It turns out that you Marines can bring women out on missions. I'm really happy, so I'm welcome. When the woman heard Bai Yu's words, she immediately fell to the ground in fright. Bastard. You let her go, I will give you the training method of Marine 6 styles. Hoppledy shouted at once. I wish I had done this earlier, but it's too late now, except for Marine 6 styles, all the supplies and weapons on your ship belong to me. There was a smile on Bai Yu's face. He didn't have a knife yet, not even a gun. Can't borrow a knife from Zoro every time. And Usopp also needs guns and knives to practice spear fighting. In order to make the crew stronger, he also took great pains. Do you know the consequences of robbing Marine? Hobody gritted his teeth and threatened. Of course I do, but I believe you won't say it, right? Bai Yu smiled. He knew that this Hobody would not dare to say it. Otherwise, if it spreads out, one of his headquarters, Lieutenant, was robbed by an unknown pirate group in East Blue, and his future would be over. You're cruel. You'd better not be encountered by me in the future. Hobody gave in, and there was nothing he could do if he didn't give in, and he couldn't beat him. Bring it. Bai Yu stretched out his hand directly. Give you. Hobody took out a booklet in his arms and threw it to Bai Yu reluctantly. Have your men unload the supplies onto our ship. Bai Yu took a look and found that it was indeed the training method of Marine 6 styles, so he kept it in his arms. Move the supplies to their ships. Hoppledy gritted his teeth and gave the order. Marine soldiers began to carry supplies. The supplies of this warship are enough for Bai Yu and the others to eat for a month. Why don't you even have a good knife? Bai Yu looked at Hobody coldly. I have a good knife in my room. Hobody was frightened by Bai Yu's eyes and said subconsciously. Don't bring it to me. Bai Yu gave a cold drink. Go get it. Hobody shouted at once. Marine soldiers immediately entered the cabin and brought the knife. Bai Yu immediately threw Hobody aside when he saw the knife. The good and fast knife returns to the wind, the scabbard is blue, the blade is white, and the appearance is very high. Although the good knife is not as good as the big knife, it is still very good. At least the early stage is enough. Okay. Then it's fate to meet, bye. After Bai Yu finished speaking, he jumped off the warship and returned to the Mary. Bai Yu, why did Marine give us so many supplies and weapons? Luffy asked curiously. Because I had a friendly exchange with them, they sent it to us, well, let's go. Bai Yu smiled slightly. Anyway, he definitely enjoyed the conversation this time. As for whether other people are happy or not, he doesn't care. The knife here is good. Zoro looked at the knife in Bai Yu's hand. Not as good as the one you have. Bai Yu pointed to the word Hidao in Zoro's hand. After all, it is a big fast knife, and there is no way to compare it with a good fast knife. Zoro looked at Hidao Yiwen, as if caught in a memory. Bai Yu didn't bother either and came to Usopp. The guns and ammunition here are all brought for you. You don't have to do anything recently, and practice gunfighting for me. Yes. Usopp shouted immediately. Okay, I'll leave it to you, I'm tired and sleep for a while. Bai Yu was lying on the plywood as he spoke, falling asleep with the sea breeze blowing. What a strange man. Nami looked at Bai Yu who was sleeping and muttered softly. Bai Yu is very strong and a very nice person. Nami, why do you call him weird? Luffy looked at Nami suspiciously. You're also very strange, okay. Nami roared and went back to the cabin. Am I weird? Luffy's head filled with question marks. Luffy, help me practice. I want to become a warrior like Shuangyang Shuangyang. Usopp said very seriously. Okay, I also want to see the gunfighting skills that Bai Yu teaches you. Luffy agreed immediately. Chapter 14. Let Marine 6 styles flood the sea. Open black lens bracket for collection. Ask for flowers. Close black lens bracket. I don't know how long I slept. Bai Yu woke up feeling hungry. You finally woke up and slept all day and night. If you hadn't been breathing, I would have thought you were dead. Nami looked at Bai Yu and said. Are you worried about me? Bai Yu smiled. The devil is worried about you. I'll give you something to eat. I'll kill you. Nami angrily handed a large plate of fried rice to Bai Yu, then turned around and left. It's delicious. Nami, I want to eat it too. Luffy smelled the scent and couldn't help it immediately. I want to eat and make my own. Why didn't Bai Yu do it himself? Luffy was very aggrieved. However, Bai Yu didn't care. This plate of rice wasn't enough for him to eat by himself, so he definitely wouldn't share it with Luffy. I must find a chef. Luffy made up his mind, or he'd starve to death. As for the food he made by himself, it was worse than devil fruit. It's impossible to expect Nami to cook and eat. Usopp, some progress, but not quite there. Bai Yu clearly felt Usopp's progress. It seems that he slept all day and night. Usopp has been practicing. I will work hard. Usopp also noticed his own changes, and he felt more confident in his heart. Bai Yu came up with the training method of Marine 6 styles. The cultivation method is very simple, not too complicated. Just read it once, and he already remembered it. Come here, everyone. This is the training method of Marine 6 styles. I got it from Marine. You can all practice it and improve your strength. Bai Yu said and handed the book to Luffy. What? I don't understand. Luffy just glanced at it and handed the book to Zoro. Zoro read it carefully, and after closing the book, he stepped aside and started practicing. Finger pistol. After Usopp saw finger pistol, he stopped and watched carefully. Bai Yu didn't bother them, everyone was different at what they were good at. He can't give guidance on this either, it's up to them to make their own choices. Nami, don't you take a look. This is the 6 forms that Marine can only cultivate, and it's a very powerful skill. Bai Yu asked. All except this. Marine's things should be able to sell for a lot of money, so it's my salary as a navigator. Nami snatched the Marine 6 styles into his hands and tucked them directly into his clothes. Your suggestion is very good, I feel we can do a business. Bai Yu's eyes lit up. Money is very important in any world, no one thinks too much money, Bai Yu is no exception. What business? Nami was puzzled. We can transcribe Marine 6 styles. Someone should buy a copy of tens of thousands of Baileys. Bai Yu spoke out about his plan. You are too dark. A booklet costs tens of thousands of Baileys. Nami shouted, and then immediately changed his face. If that's the case, then buy a book for 100,000 Baileys. It's decided, I'll go and transcribe it. Bai Yu's face turned black, who is blacker? However, it doesn't matter. Marine 6 styles are flooding the sea, and Marine will have a headache, right? Of the 5 people on the pirate ship, only Luffy was not practicing, and several others, including Bai Yu, were practicing. The boring Luffy could only practice together. Bai Yu was very happy with such an atmosphere. Wow, look, there's a very strange ship ahead. Luffy shouted loudly from the bow. Idiot, That's the famous Barati Sea restaurant. I didn't expect to meet it here. Nami spoke up. It's amazing. I want to eat meat. Luffy's eyes lit up instantly. Then go have a rest, eat something, and combine work and rest. Bai Yu smiled slightly, and finally it was Sanji's turn to get on the boat. Although the food cooked by Nami is also delicious, it is still far from the professional Sanji. However, Sanji's shortcomings are also obvious, too lustful. The Marine's warship just now seems to be here too. Zoro pointed to the warship. They're not waiting for us. Usopp is very scared, even if he has practiced gunfighting, his timidity will not be changed in a short time. It makes sense, then you can stay and watch the boat, and we'll go in and eat. Bai Yu nodded seriously. What? Leave me alone on the boat. I don't want it. Usopp is scared, but not stupid. 5 people boarded the sea restaurant Barati. Just opened the door and walked in. A figure flew over. Boom. Bai Yu kicked the figure flying to avoid being hit. Asshole. The kicked person struggled to raise his head, and cold sweat broke out on his face. You. So Hobody Lieutenant, what happened to you? You got beaten up again. Bai Yu said with a smile. Asshole. Hobody gritted his teeth and stood up and limped out. If you break something, you will lose money. Sanji came over. It seems that you kicked people over. You scared us. I haven't made you lose money. Besides, we have a beautiful lady here. Bai Yu recognized Sanji's curly eyebrows immediately. That's really embarrassing. Beautiful lady, as compensation, I will entertain you personally. Please accept my love, no, my apology. Sanji conjured a flower out of nowhere and handed it to Nami. Nami was startled and hid directly behind Bai Yu. Sanji, if you dare to offend the guests, get out of here. I don't need troublemakers here. Zap stepped out and looked at Sanji with a bad look. Are you a chef? Luffy's eyes lit up. Would you like to join our pirate group and become our partner? Although there is such a beautiful lady, I refuse. Sanji shook his head and refused without thinking. I think it's good. You can promise them to be a pirate with them. Anyway, your character is more suitable for a pirate. Zap said aside. Stinky old man. No matter what you say, I won't leave. Sanji growled loudly. How dare you talk to me like that? Stupid brat. Boom. Sanji was kicked out instantly. Sorry for the guest. I will teach him a lesson. Please sit down. Zap dragged Sanji back as he spoke. What a quirky restaurant. Luffy groaned. However, the short-term turmoil is over. Delicious. Luffy eats very fast. These days Nami only cooks for Bai Yu and doesn't care about the 3 of them at all. The 3 of them are all cooked by Usopp these days. Although Usopp makes something better than Luffy, it's just edible. Finally got delicious food, how could it be stopped? The 3 devoured for a while. Just at this time. The guests in the restaurant ran wildly outside. Asterisk. Chapter 15. The man is here. Open black lens bracket. Ask for flowers. Ask for collection. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. What happened? Nami asked suspiciously. Isn't it a case of a pirate? Luffy said vaguely. Idiot. We are pirates. Nami tapped Luffy on the head. There's nothing wrong with us being pirates. Bai Yu glanced at Nami with a smile on his face. It seems that a lot of people came. Zoro stopped and took a sip of water. Well, it seems that there is indeed a big trouble. Both Bai Yu and Zoro have observation haki, and although they are not very skilled, they have no problem knowing how many people are around. Boom. The restaurant door was violently kicked open. This boat is not bad. Lousy wants it. You cooks, prepare food for 200 people immediately, and get out of here immediately after you're done. Crick was very arrogant, and he didn't care about the disagreement of those in the restaurant on the sea. Beautiful lady, it's no longer safe here, you should leave. Sanji came to Nami's side and said a word, then walked up to Crick. Dare to snatch our ship. You have to pass me first. You. Crick looked at Sanji, then a muzzle appeared in his shoulder. It's so boring. The muzzle burst into flames, and the bullet went straight to Sanji. Sanji dodged quickly, but was still hit by a bullet. Fell to the ground. Lousy is the most powerful. Let you do whatever you want. It's an honor for Lousy to see your boat. Crick shouted loudly. Sanji. The chefs immediately stepped forward to bring Sanji back. There's not enough meat here, here's one. Bai Yu opened his mouth and said. Although the sound is not large, it is very clear. The chef and Crick in the restaurant all looked at Bai Yu and the others. Originally, they were sitting in a remote location, and with such a mess, these people didn't notice that there were still people eating. Leader. The crew has all disembarked. Attack at any time. The ghost akin walked up to Crick and said. You go and kill those unsightly guys first. Crick said casually, as if he was talking about eating. Yes. The ghost man agent nodded and walked over. Usopp, he gave it to you, let's see the results of your cultivation these days. After Bai Yu said that, he continued to eat. Usopp was startled, the man in front of him looked fierce, and he had been scared for a long time. Since you want to be a brave sea warrior, you have to pass this level. If you can't pass this level, you will always be a coward. Fear is human nature, but if we want to become stronger, we must overcome fear. Bai Yu taught earnestly. He knew Usopp's character too well. If this goes on, the ghost knows when he will learn the art of gunfighting. Well said, but you may not have seen real fear. Let me tell you what real fear is. The voice of the ghost man agent fell, and he rushed over in an instant, very fast. Usopp, you don't want me dead, do you? Bai Yu sat there motionless. Asshole. Usopp roared and immediately blocked Bai Yu's back. Boom. One shot. Akin dodged, then provoked and kicked Usopp. Don't underestimate people. Look at my Yan Shuangying Usopp. Gunfight. Usopp roared and fired 3 shots in a row. 3 bullets flew out in the shape of a finished glyph. Ah Jin, who was in the air, had no place to relay at all, and 3 bullets completely blocked his movement. No matter what he moved, he would be hit. Unsurprisingly, Akin was hit by a bullet. But Usopp didn't stop, rushed over and kicked Ajin away, and fired another shot. Boom. Ajin slammed into the wall, and the bullet hit the center of Ajin's forehead. PFF'd. Usopp himself was so frightened that he fell to the ground. This is his first murder. Akin. Seeing that Ajin was killed, Crick roared. Bastard. You dare to kill Ajin. I want you to die. The voice fell, and many muzzles appeared on Crick's body, shooting frantically. Zoro stood up and stood in front of the dining table, the knife in his hand instantly unsheathed. When. The bullets were all shot by Zoro. Luffy, don't you want a chef? You go and tell that chef now, let's protect his restaurant and let him come on board with us. Bai Yu glanced at Luffy. Good idea. Luffy stood up immediately and ran to Sanji. We'll help you deal with these people, how about you join us and become our partner? Bastard. Take advantage of the danger. It's not a gentleman. Sanji roared angrily, then exhaled heavily and stood up struggling. Thank you for your kindness, the restaurant will be guarded by myself. Sanji. The others immediately stepped forward and grabbed Sanji. Okay, then I'll leave it to you. After Luffy finished speaking, he turned back to the table. I want this chef. No problem, leave it to me. Bai Yu had long known that was the case, nodded and stood up. He's almost eaten, so he's just moving. Just at this time. Outside, the pirate ship of the Creek pirates instantly turned into 3 sections and sank into the water. The huge pirate ship sank, setting off a huge wave. The restaurant shook constantly. Mary, Usopp exclaimed. My treasure. Nami exclaimed and rushed out immediately. Usopp also ran out quickly. Chief. No, not good. That man is catching up. Asterisk. Chapter 16. I am the weakest, and you are the strongest. Open black lens bracket for collection. Ask for flowers. Ask for a review ticket. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. What? Crick's face changed wildly, and there was no haki at all. Just like Usopp just now, or even worse than Usopp. Get the anchor. Or we'll sink too. Raise the fins. Get ready for battle. Zap delivered the order immediately. Yes, the chefs got to work right away. Luffy, Bai Yu, it seems that the man I was looking for has appeared. Zoro's eyes looked out, his eyes very firm. Then go. Bai Yu didn't stop him, and he knew he couldn't. And if a man is willing to risk his life for this fight, he has no reason to stop him. Then let's go together. I also want to see who the man Zoro is looking for. Luffy stood up. The 3 of them walked towards the door with a tacit understanding. Please get out of the way. Bai Yu said to Crick who was blocking the door. Bastard. Go to hell. Crick roared and punched out. Roll. Bai Yu directly kicked Crick out. 3 people came out. Hawkeye glanced at Crick, who flew out of the restaurant, and did not intend to shoot. But his eyes stayed on Bai Yu, Zoro, and Luffy for a moment. Zoro clenched the knife at his waist, looked at Hawkeye, and his fighting spirit rose. Slowly walked to Hawkeye's coffin board boat. 3 knives. It's the pirate hunter Roronoa Zoro. How could he be here? The pirates who fell into the water immediately recognized Zoro. However, Zoro did not pay attention to these people, and there is only one person in his eyes now. You look very busy, let's have a contest. Hearing this, Hawkeye looked up at Zoro. Contest. Poor weakling. Hawkeye's voice fell, and he appeared in front of Zoro. If you are a first-class swordsman, even if you don't fight, you should be able to feel the gap between us before. You dare to draw a sword against me, should you say that you are ignorant or fearless? Because of my ambition and the agreement between my best friends. Zoro said. All 3 knives were unsheathed. Hawkeye took off the necklace hanging from his neck. It was a very small knife. It should be a knife for cutting fruit. You must have a limit when you look down on people. Zoro saw Hawkeye pointed at him with a knife, and his anger was instantly full. The chefs of the sea restaurant also came out to watch the battle. Zoro, the famous 3-sword pirate hunter from East Blue, faces off against Mihawk. Fights like this don't happen all the time. Bai Yu, will Zoro win? Luffy asked. Don't you already know the answer? Bai Yu didn't answer, he believed Luffy could see it. I don't want to lose my partner. Luffy clenched his fists. I don't want to either, but this is his ambition and his dream, we have no reason to stop it, all we can do is trust him. Bai Yu didn't have a clue in his heart, and now the plot is completely messed up. He also didn't know if Hawkeye would kill Zoro. The point is, even he is not the opponent of Hawkeye now. I believe in Zoro, Luffy said through gritted teeth. When the two were talking, the battle between Zoro and Hawkeye had already begun. Ghost slash. Zoro is very fast. Ding. Hawkeye's knife accurately blocked Zoro's 3 knives. How is that possible? My observation haki couldn't detect his movements. My attack was seen clearly by him. Zoro was shocked, he knew there was a gap between himself and Hawkeye. But I didn't expect that the difference is so big. Impossible. How could there be such a big gap? Zoro roared and started to attack frantically. Observation haki is wide open, getting faster and faster. But no matter how fast Zoro was, all his attacks were easily blocked by Hawkeye. Hawkeye was also a little shocked. East Blue was known as the weakest in the world. He never thought that such a young swordsman would awaken observation haki. What's more, Zoro's swordsmanship is too violent. Completely disregard any defense, only know to attack. Not fast enough. I want faster. Zoro seems to have entered a wonderful state, just like when Bai Yu taught him a sword Shira. Young swordsman, let me see where your limits are. Hawkeye became more and more frightened, and became more and more curious about Zoro. Zoro's speed is getting faster and faster, and ordinary people can no longer see Zoro. Bai Yu knew that Zoro realized the shaved of Marine 6 styles. Puff. Hawkeye's knife pierced Zoro's heart. Why don't you back up? You wouldn't be stabbed if you backed up. I don't know why, I feel like I can't go back anyway. Zoro shook his head and took a quick step back. Young strong man, report your name. Hawkeye said and put away the knife. Roronoa Zoro. I remember your name, you are qualified to let me use this world's strongest black knife to fight you. Hawkeye took out the black knife behind his back. It is an honor to die under this black knife. Zoro's voice fell, and the momentum on his body continued to rise. Hawkeye, today, I will be the weakest and you will be the strongest. One Sword Shira. Asterisk. Chapter 17. Hawkeye is injured. Open black lens bracket for collection. Ask for flowers. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. A sword Asura. Zoro roared. The skin turned blood red. There was a black light visible to the naked eye. Zoro at this moment is like Shira returning from hell. Compressed 90% of the power. Bai Yu looked at Zoro's state and was extremely shocked. Before that, the tightness could only compress 10% of the force. Now it has been directly compressed to 90%, almost a big one. Hawkeye was also very shocked. He didn't expect Zoro to have such a method. However, he can't see it either, this state is time limited. Swish. Zoro is gone. So fast. Hawkeye was shocked. The two are fighting faster and faster. The naked eye can no longer see any movements of the two people. Zoro stopped, gasping for breath. He knew that he only had the power of the last blow left. The knife in his hand, except for the word Hidao, the other 2 knives can no longer hold on. Is it the last blow? Hawkeye said. The last blow, if I can't knock you down, I will lose. Zoro said and raised his hands, spinning the 2 knives like windmills, the speed became faster and faster, and a gust of wind was set off. Okay, then one hit will determine the outcome. Hawkeye also immediately made a fighting posture. 3 swords profound truth 3000 worlds. Zoro's voice fell, and the person had already switched places with Hawkeye. Click. The 2 knives in Zoro's hands shattered into countless pieces in an instant. Puff. Blood spurted out. Zoro lost. However, there was also a bloodstain on Hawkeye's arm. Zoro took a deep breath and dropped the broken handle. He put the word Hidao into the scabbard, glanced at it, and inserted it into the ground. Then open your arms. What are you doing? Hawkeye asked. The wound on the back is a shame for the swordsman. Good job. Hawkeye's voice fell, and he swung out a knife. Blood spurted. Zoro fell straight to the ground. Zoro. Luffy growled. Bai Yu instantly appeared beside Zoro. Zoro. Wake me up. You can't die. Asshole. Luffy angrily attacked the eagle eye. Are you his partners? Thank you for not stopping this battle. Don't worry, he is not dead. It would be a pity if he died now. Hawkeye glanced at Bai Yu and Luffy, then looked down at his arm. I haven't been hurt for a long time. Roronoa Zoro. It's too early for you to want to die. See yourself clearly, re-understand this world, and become stronger. Go beyond this black knife in my hand, go beyond me. I am waiting for you on the strongest throne. Hawkeye shouted loudly at Zoro. After the words were spoken, the people around were very shocked. Hawkeye is the #1 swordsman in the world, so he can recognize him and say such words. Zoro's future is absolutely limitless. Most importantly, everyone saw the wound on Hawkeye's arm. That was slashed by Zoro. Next time we meet, your strongest throne may be gone. Bai Yu looked at Hawkeye and said, I'm looking forward to it. What is your goal? Hawkeye asked. Let the Straw Hat Pirates become the strongest pirate group, no one. Bai Yu has a goal in mind. Boy, what's your goal? Hawkeye looked at Luffy. I'm going to be the Pirate King. Luffy said his goal without hesitation. One Piece. Hawkeye was a little surprised. That's a more difficult road than surpassing me. I don't care, I just want to be. Luffy said and made a face. Luffy. Bai Yu. Let you worry. If I don't become the strongest swordsman in the world, won't I disappoint you all? Cough. Zoro. Don't talk, take a break, and I'll wrap you up. Bai Yu looked at the injured Zoro and felt a little sad. Obviously he can change the plot, and Zoro doesn't have to get hurt. I also made up my mind. What a drama in the future. He doesn't care. Since the world is already in chaos, it will be completely in chaos. I will not lose. Until I defeat him and become the most powerful swordsman in the world, I will never lose. Do you have any opinions? One Piece. Deputy Captain. Zoro screamed loudly with all his strength. No comment. No comment. Luffy and Bai Yu met, smiled and said in unison. What a fun team, I'm waiting for you on the Grand Line. After Hawkeye finished speaking, he jumped on his own boat and left. Hey, Bai Yu, what happened to our pirate ship? Luffy saw the Mary leave the sea dining room. Wrap Zoro first, he's really going to die later. Bai Yu glanced at the distant pirate ship and ignored it. There's medicine in the restaurant. Come over here. Zap shouted. Bai Yu picked up Zoro, rushed into the restaurant quickly, and wrapped Zoro. Luffy. Usopp swam up from the sea. Usopp, why are you in the sea? Luffy quickly pulled Usopp ashore. Nami. Nami, she drove the boat and took all our treasures. Usopp roared angrily. What? Luffy's eyes widened. She also said that our cooperation is over, and the ship and treasure are his reward for this time. Usopp slammed his fist into the ground. Sorry, I'm not optimistic about our pirate ship. Betrayed by the crew. It's normal to be afraid after seeing the power on the Grand Line. Crick didn't know when to climb ashore. Hawkeye is gone, Zoro is seriously injured, and no one threatens him. He thought he was okay again. Asterisk. Chapter 18. Flicking Sanji aboard. Open black lens bracket for collection. Ask for flowers. Ask for a review ticket. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. Luffy's eyes suddenly turned cold, and he turned his head and punched directly. Boom. Crick fell into the sea again. Leader. Who is this guy? He even knocked the leader away. Shut up. The leader is the strongest. He was just attacked. Boss. Kill that straw hat boy. The pirate minions immediately started cheering on their leader. Little ones. Come on. Grab this maritime restaurant. Crick shouted, and all the pirate minions rushed to the restaurant immediately. Although the pirate ship was destroyed by Hawkeye, the number of the Creek pirates was a little smaller. But there are also more than 100 people. There are only less than a dozen chefs in the restaurant. Except for Sanji and Zapu, they are all a group of chefs. Even if they have some fighting power, they are very limited. It is obviously not enough to deal with this group of vicious pirates. You guys are partners, right? You know he's not Hawkeye's opponent, so why don't you stop him? Sanji asked in confusion. Bai Yu glanced at Zoro, who was already asleep, and said, when he went to sea, he already had his consciousness. Do you have the ambition to risk your life to realize it? Ambition to risk your life. Sanji glanced at Zoro, and he thought of Zoro's indifference in the face of death just now. That scene really shocked him. Actually, you already had it, but you didn't do it, or you were afraid of something. Bai Yu said and walked out of the restaurant without saying anything more. Yeah, I had ambitions a long time ago. Sanji looked at Bai Yu's back and walked out. Luffy, hurry up and solve this, we have to find Nami, you don't want to replace such a good navigator, do you? Bai Yu said and glanced at Crick in the distance. Of course, I don't want to change the navigator. Rubber cyclone. Luffy's long legs swept across, and the people who had just boarded the boat were swept away instantly. I'll leave that Crick to you, and these little bastards to me. Bai Yu has no interest in taking a shot at Crick. No problem. Luffy has long wanted to knock off Crick, and now he's on his mind. Usopp, these people will be handed over to you. This is the best sparring for you to practice spear fighting. Don't be under any pressure. These people are not good people. Bai Yu wouldn't take action against these people, wouldn't it be fun to watch the fun? Didn't you say you did it yourself? Usopp's legs began to tremble when he saw the dense crowd. I just said it was handed over to me, but I didn't say I would take action. Now it's up to you, do you have any opinions? Bai Yu looked at Usopp with narrowed eyes. Guru. No. Usopp was startled, he knew Bai Yu's method very well. Then let's do it. After Bai Yu finished speaking, he sat aside. He seems to be afraid of you. Sanji said. It's not fear, it's respect. After all, I'm the deputy captain, and the captain is not reliable. Naturally, the deputy captain of mine should be more reliable. Bai Yu said as he should. Sanji glanced at Luffy and nodded in approval. Although Usopp's training time is relatively short, gunfighting is a very comprehensive skill. Spear, fighting, swordsmanship, all included. Although the current Usopp is a little weaker, it is still no problem to deal with these people. However, he was too timid to exert his full power. Bastard. Bai Yu save me. Usopp hurriedly called for help. It's nothing. Bai Yu sighed, what a waste of such a good skill. Let me do it. Sanji lit a cigarette and rushed out, kicking a little scumbag. Usopp's pressure instantly decreased, and he gradually began to become proficient. There is no way. Spear fighting is to rely on practice. Boy, can you take Sanji out to sea? Zap said suddenly. Are you really going to drive him away? Bai Yu asked curiously. His talent shouldn't stay with me. His dream is far away, not with me as an old man. I don't want him to regret it when he reaches my age. Zap said seriously. I can take him away, but that's up to him. Bai Yu did not refuse, and he had no reason to refuse. He would never waste such powerful combat power as Sanji. With the addition of Sanji, his strength will inevitably skyrocket again. That's all right. I naturally have a way to let him leave with you. Don't worry, he is a very easy person and won't betray you. Zep said pointedly. I believe. Bai Yu nodded and said nothing more. More than 100 little minions are not enough for Usopp and Sanji to fight. The battle was soon over. And Luffy's side didn't end there. Crick's insidious tricks continued, and it wasn't easy for Luffy to end the fight. Luffy, hurry up and end the fight, don't waste your time. Bai Yu shouted. Okay, it's not over with you. 8 inner gates. Shut gates. Open. After Luffy opened 8 inner gates, he instantly disappeared in place. Boom. One punch hit Crick's golden armor. The armor that couldn't be broken just now shattered in an instant. Puff. Crick vomited blood, but Luffy wasn't going to let him go like that. Rubber Leonwa. Boom. With one kick, Crick flew up. Luffy was raised high, his arms wrapped around Crick, his body spinning rapidly. Boom. Crick fell on the wreckage of the pirate ship and lost consciousness. Solve the fight. Luffy clapped his hands and returned to the dining room deck. Okay, the matter has been resolved, we have to go. Bai Yu glanced at Zapu. I hope to have the opportunity to eat your food in the future. Wait a minute, Sanji, won't you say something? Zap said quickly. Thank you for helping our restaurant, and you will come to the restaurant for free in the future. Sanji turned his head away. Asshole. As a man, we must keep our promises. They help us solve the pirates. You have to go with them to be pirates. If you don't go, get out immediately. My restaurant doesn't need people who don't keep their promises. Quote. Zap shouted angrily. Sanji, be our partner. Luffy very solemnly issued an invitation. You have no way out now, and walking with us is the best choice. Bai Yu said. Well, there's no room for me here anyway. These bastards want to drive me away, right, stinky old man? Sanji lit a cigarette. Let me do your ship's cook. Asterisk. Chapter 19. Food that does not shine is not food. Open black lens bracket for collection. Ask for flowers. Ask for a review ticket. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. Great. Finally a chef. When Luffy heard Sanji agree to come down, he jumped for joy immediately. There was also a smile on Bai Yu's face. Although the process changed a bit, it was finally on board. You wait for me to pack up. Sanji turned around and entered the restaurant. Well, uncle, can you give us a boat? Luffy said. Sure. Jep nodded. Go get Sanji's boat over here and prepare some ingredients for them. I'll get it myself. Luffy rushed into the restaurant immediately. I want this beef. I want this pork belly. I want this meat. How much meat do you want? The chef of the restaurant was very depressed. It was full of a big bag. Not to mention 5 people, even a dozen people would be enough to eat for many days. Boy, this is my record for a year sailing on the Grand Line, and it should save you a lot of danger. Jep handed Bai Yu an old book. No, if it's not dangerous, what's the point? Exploring the unknown is more fun, isn't it? Bai Yu smiled slightly and rejected the book. I knew it was so. Zap didn't say much, and took the book back. Sanji came out with a simple suitcase, and Luffy followed behind with a large bag full of ingredients. Bastard Sanji, now that you're leaving, our hatred should also be understood. The 2 chefs scrambled to think of Sanji. Boom, boom. The 2 were directly kicked out. Just because you guys still want to fight me. It's still 100 years earlier. Sanji looked at the chefs in the restaurant. By the way, your acting skills are too bad. As soon as he said that, he was ready to board the ship. Don't you say goodbye, Bai Yu said. No, Sanji said without looking back. Sanji, don't catch a cold. Zap still couldn't hold back. Sanji's movements froze, and tears burst in an instant. He thought about how Zap lost a foot to save him as a child. In order to keep him alive, all the food was given to him. This stubborn old man is his savior and his master, taking care of him for so many years more like his father. He turned and knelt down to Zap. Smelly old man, thank you for your care over the years. Your great kindness. I will never forget it in my life. Enjoy the rest of your life. Don't die too early. Bang bang bang. After kowtowing 3 times in a row, he turned around and jumped on the boat. Bai Yu carried Zoro onto the boat, and the group of 5 set off again. Bai Yu, do you know where Nami went? Luffy asked worriedly. I know, don't forget my abilities. Bai Yu smiled slightly. Fortunately he had Nami's sailing ability, otherwise no one could find him. You ate devil fruit too? Sanji asked in confusion, mainly because he didn't see Bai Yu's shot. I don't know what Bai Yu is capable of. Bai Yu is a replicator who ate the replica fruit. He can replicate the abilities of all of us. It's super powerful. My 8 inner gates were taught to me by Bai Yu, as well as Zoro's sword Shira, Usopp's gunfighting. Nami, I don't know what it is. Luffy directly shook Bai Yu's bottom. After thinking of something, he continued. Bai Yu, don't you give Sanji a meeting gift? What meeting ceremony? Sanji asked curiously. It's just to teach you a skill, the super powerful one. Luffy said exaggeratedly. My cooking skills. Sanji asked for it rudely. You're really welcome. Fortunately, I was prepared. Bai Yu was also taken aback when he got Sanji's exclusive skills. Because this is the only skill related to God level cooking technique. From the captive world of gourmet food, the cooking skills of the strongest chef Flozer have changed due to the different rules of the world. Please explore the details on your own. Close black lens bracket. Although this skill is a cooking skill, but Flozer can be called the strongest chef in the captive world of gourmet food, and her fighting power is also derived from divine cooking skills. As long as Sanji learns this skill completely, his strength can definitely become the pinnacle of the pirate world. Bai Yu's fingers touched Sanji's eyebrows. Sanji closed his eyes, but didn't open them for a long time. Bai Yu, why did Sanji take so long? Luffy asked suspiciously. All of them woke up quickly, but Sanji was the only one who was so slow. It's okay, his skills are different from yours. Bai Yu actually didn't know the reason. His voice just fell. Sanji burst into tears. After opening his eyes, he immediately hugged Bai Yu, tears and snot all rubbing against Bai Yu's body. Deputy Captain. Thank you. Sanji burst into tears with excitement. You release me first. Bai Yu is also a little depressed, the clothes he just changed. Sanji, what skills did you learn, so excited? Usopp asked curiously. What the vice captain taught me is God-level cooking. After seeing God-level cooking, I realized how rubbish the food I used to cook was and how much food I wasted. Sanji was very emotional. God-level cooking skills. Wow. The food made must be very delicious. Luffy is also excited. Food that doesn't shine is not called gourmet. Let me, Sanji, the god of cookery, let you see what real cooking is. Sanji walked into the kitchen in high spirits and started cooking. Bai Yu's face was weird. He found that after the crew learned his skills, some strange changes seemed to have taken place. Asterisk. Chapter 20. Powerful God-level cooking technique. Open black lens bracket for collection. Ask for flowers. Ask for a review ticket. Close black lens bracket. Soon, the rich aroma wafted from the kitchen. Delicious. So delicious. Even Bai Yu, who is a traveler, has never smelled such a fragrance. He seems to understand now that when he was watching anime, why did those people have exaggerated expressions after eating delicious food? Because it is so delicious. Just smelling the smell, the body is already a little out of control. Can't wait to eat this unparalleled delicacy right away. The smell floated on the sea, and the fish in the sea followed behind the boat. Want to taste this food? Immediately afterwards, a magical picture appeared, with all kinds of fish behind the boat. Among them are some small sea beasts. They keep jumping out of the water, greedily absorbing the deliciousness in the air. Bai Yu was shocked. Sanji was just the furthest to understand divine cooking. If you fully comprehend God-level cooking techniques in the future, what kind of scene will it be? It seems that it is a dangerous thing for them to eat in the future. Who knows when the Sea Kings will appear? Sanji quickly came out with plates of delicious food. As soon as the lid is opened, the light shines. The light dissipated, but there was still a little bit of light on the dishes, which was extremely dazzling. If it weren't for the enticing aroma of the dish, it would really be considered a work of art. Even Luffy, a foodie, didn't get it right away, so you can imagine how beautiful it is. Please enjoy, Sanji said very gentlemanly. The voice fell, and the four of them threw themselves on the table without any hesitation. Image. Hee. At a later date there are no more plates, who cares about the image? When Bai Yu took the first bite, he was completely motionless. The same is true for the other three, as if they had been hit by a fixation technique. I don't know if it's a hallucination, but Bai Yu feels that his physique has improved a lot. After the four of them regained their senses, they immediately began to eat a lot. But the strange thing is that even Luffy and Bai Yu, who can eat the most, are full after only 2 plates. This is very incredible. Originally, the two of them had to eat at least a dozen or even dozens of plates to be full, but now they are full after only 2 plates, and they can't eat at all. I don't know if I will awaken the gourmet cells in the future. Bai Yu couldn't help but think. If they can really awaken the gourmet cells, their combat power will definitely soar again. Sanji, it's amazing. The first time I've eaten so quickly. It's delicious. Luffy was excited. Thanks to the vice captain. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be able to learn such advanced cooking skills. If I eat it regularly, I can enhance my physique. Sanji looked at the satisfaction of the four, and was very happy. We are all partners, so you don't need to be so polite. This is because you have very good cooking skills, otherwise you will not be able to comprehend God-level cooking skills. Although Bai Yu can also be a God-level cook himself, but let him cook. Then don't think about it, it is impossible to cook, you can only eat ready-made. However, God-level cooking is not just as simple as cooking. The knives are also very magical. Even if Sanji only understands a little bit now, Bai Yu has benefited a lot from those exquisite knife skills. He didn't intend to practice the three swords style like Zoro. After all, it is enough to have a Zoro in the three swords, and it is the only one. Now, combining Zoro's swordsmanship and divine cooking skills, he can create his own style of swordsmanship. Looks like something's approaching. Zoro looked to the side with a wary expression. The voice fell, and a Uzumaki immediately appeared beside the boat. Boom! A huge sea beast emerges from within Uzumaki. Manatee. Bai Yu was also a little surprised when he saw this monster. I didn't expect that this guy will appear after the plot changes now. Quick! Run! Usopp trembled with fright. Cook, is this food edible? Zoro looked at the manatee, his eyes were not looking at the sea beast, but a large plate of food. It should be edible, but we have nowhere to deal with it right now. Sanji didn't care about Zoro's name, he was thinking about how to cook the manatee now. The manatee suddenly felt a little dangerous, and looked around, but found nothing that could threaten it. What the hell is this guy doing? Before it attacks us, let's run. Usopp hurriedly began to persuade him that he didn't want to play against such a big guy. Look at me, rubber guns. Luffy punched straight out. Boom. The manatee was immediately thrown into the sea, setting off a huge wave, and the boat began to sway. Down. Great. Usopp breathed a sigh of relief. Roar. An angry roar sounded. The manatee was punched, and immediately became angry, opening his bloody mouth, and he was about to eat several of them and the whole ship. Are you hungry? Come and eat. Sanji pulls out a plate of meat they ate left over. After the manatee smelled the fragrance, the violent state disappeared instantly. After a couple of sniffs, he opened his mouth wide and was ready to eat. Sanji, you are so gentle. Usopp's words were not finished. Roll. Sanji exploded in an instant, kicking the manatee in the jaw. Then eat the meat on the plate yourself, never waste food. After being beaten twice in a row, although the manatee can't speak, he is not stupid at all. It knows that it can't afford to offend these few humans. But it can't bear the fragrant food. Just showing his head for a long time, he looked at the boat with a grieved expression, and looked at the few people on the boat. Let's slaughter and eat meat. Zoro stood up, ready to kill the manatee. The manatee was frightened and hid in the water, only the horns were exposed. Okay, come out. Since you are a buffalo, you can also be considered a cow. If you help us pull the boat, we won't kill you, but we can reward you with a bite of delicious food. Bai Yu said. The manatee immediately surfaced and nodded, indicating that he was willing to pull the boat. Cocoa West Village. We are coming. Asterisk. Chapter 21. I opened this tree, and I planted this road. Please support me. Close black lens bracket. Cocoa West Village. Nami is counting his treasures. Finally put together enough money, the village can be free. Nami lay on the ground, looking at the familiar ceiling. Bai Yu's smiling face suddenly appeared in his mind. With a shake of his head, Luffy appeared, then Zoro, and then Usopp. Even Sanji, the lecherous chef who only met once, came to mind. I just have a partnership with them, I just use them and cheat their money. They are pirates, and I hate pirates the most. Yes, exactly. Nami kept performing hypnosis on himself, but tears fell from the corners of his eyes unknowingly. She thought of his first meeting with Bai Yu Luffy, and then to the later voyage. Although it was not long, every day was full of joy. Even she forgot her mission, the village, and wanted to sail with these people. But when she saw the power of the Grand Line, she backed off. The powerful Zoro is no match. Pirates on the Grand Line, too powerful. If they were involved, they would die. Now, she has collected enough 100 million Bailey to redeem her village from the dragon. She had already talked to Arlong, and now she just had to send the money over there. 8 years. All the people of the village lived under the oppression of Arlong for 8 years. Now finally free. Nami, are you back? Hearing a familiar voice outside, Nami immediately got up and opened the door and walked out. She wants to tell everyone the good news. But when she walked out the door, she saw not only familiar people, but also a group of Marines. Of course, she has also seen this group of Marines. Colonel Mouse. This group of Marines, which are dirtier than pirates, is extremely disgusting to her. Arlong has been able to dominate East Blue for so long because of his strength. But the most important thing is because of the protection of the Mouse Colonel. If you don't deal with pirates, what are you doing here? Nami didn't give Colonel Mouse a good look at all. Thief Nami, you have stolen a lot of money. As Marine, I can't ignore it. Although you are not a pirate, I can't catch you, but the property you illegally stole must be confiscated. Colonel Mouse looked at Nami playfully. Nami clenched his fists, endured for 8 years, and finally saw the light. As a result, these mobs actually wanted to destroy all this. She will never allow any movement of her money. What's wrong? Didn't you understand? Colonel Mouse smiled proudly. All the money you stole from the pirates will be confiscated. Do you understand? This is 100 million Baileys. Even if he could only get 30%, that would be 30 million Baileys. I'm the cadre of Arlong's group. If you dare to touch me, Arlong will not let you go. Nami growled angrily. Really? Who knows? Colonel Mouse smiled. Find it for me. 100 million Bailey is not so easy to hide. Yes. Marine soldiers took orders immediately. Bastard. How do you know the amount of money? Nami's face was full of anger. I think it's probably that many. Colonel Mouse dared not look directly at Nami. After all, collusion with pirates is not a glorious thing. You asshole. You are colluding with pirates. Are you worthy of the uniform on your body? Police officer Ajien shouted angrily. How dare a little police officer point fingers at me, Colonel Marine? Colonel Mouse looked at Ajien with bad eyes. Since he knew about him, he could only kill him. At this time, the Marine soldiers were already approaching the door of the room. No one can touch my money. With a roar, Nami picked up a stick and knocked a Marine down. But Marine was too many soldiers, and she was no match at all. Stop, you bastards. Nami's money is the money to save the village. You can't move. Ajien was completely angry. Regardless of whether these people were Marine, he knocked down Marine beside him with one punch. Ajien, how did you know? Nami looked at Jien in shock. Nami, everyone has known it for a long time. The reason why you are so neglected is that we don't want you to be so tired. We want you to leave here and leave us alone. Ajien said that the tears could not help flowing down. Over the years, Nami has carried too many burdens, and they are all very distressed. So, the whole village is full of thieves. Should I go door to door? Colonel Mouse smiled sinisterly and looked at Nami. Bastard, you're not going to end well. Nami held the long stick in his hand tightly, gritted his teeth, and threw the stick on the ground. The villagers are trying their best to survive. I am the only one who is a thief. After you take the money in it, get out. Nami knew very well how despicable this Colonel Mouse was. If Colonel Mouse robs the villagers of all the money, and they can't give Arlong the money, the villagers will definitely be killed by Arlong. Wouldn't it be better sooner? Colonel Mouse smiled smugly and waved Marine soldiers in to take out the money. The box is opened. The gold and silver treasures shone with golden light, very dazzling. I can't believe that a little girl can get so much money. Colonel Mouse sighed and buttoned the box. Take it away. Although Nami and Ajien were angry, they could only watch Colonel Mouse take the money away. Arlong. Nami is extremely angry. She knew that all of this was at Arlong's orders. She's going to Arlong for an explanation. I opened this tree, I planted this road. Stupid Luffy. Wrong. Forget it, I'll do it. Bai Yu stood in front helplessly. I drive this road. I plant this tree. I want to cross this road. Stay and buy road money. Asterisk. Chapter 22. Nami's Wrath. Open black lens bracket. Ask for flowers. Ask for a review ticket. Close black lens bracket. In fact, when Marine came, they had already arrived. It's just that Bai Yu didn't let them shoot. Colonel Mouse stole Nami's money. They're robbing Colonel Mouse of money. Isn't that money theirs? There is nothing wrong with this logic, and it can also let other people see Nami's kindness. The robbery idiom, he taught Luffy to say it many times, but he still remembered it wrong. There was no other way, he had to go out on his own. The sudden appearance of the Straw Hat crew. Not only Marine was stunned, but Nami was also stunned when he saw several people. The villagers who heard the news also stood there stupidly. Although they don't know exactly what Bai Yu said. But I can also understand that these people are going to rob Marine. Are you guys trying to rob Marine? Colonel Mouse narrowed his eyes slightly. Although he couldn't see anything on the surface, he was still a little flustered. Because the eyes of these people are really terrible. Although you are a little stupid, you are not too stupid. Hand over the money and spare your life. Bai Yu looked at Colonel Mouse indifferently. This guy was not in a hurry to kill. They are famous in the sea and need this garbage. Boom. Colonel Mouse picked up the gun and shot Bai Yu. What? The surrounding villagers screamed in fright. It seems that you don't want to pay, so you can only kill you. Bai Yu dropped the bullet on the ground and looked at Colonel Mouse with cold eyes. You. Colonel Mouse's eyes widened, and cold sweat broke out on his forehead. What are you? Robbery. Luffy growled, punched Colonel Mouse in the face. Boom. Colonel Mouse flew out. Colonel. Marine soldiers quickly helped Colonel Mouse up. If you don't pay, I'll chop you off. Zoro's knife was unsheathed, and he looked over with cold eyes. I pay. Colonel Mouse was immediately scared to pee. Put the money down. Can I go? Colonel Mouse asked cautiously. K off. Bai Yu said. Colonel Mouse left quickly with the help of the soldiers. You have already grabbed the money, so hurry up and get out. After Nami finished speaking, he ran out immediately. Bai Yu didn't hold back because Nami's growth required this process. Only through experience can you truly transform. You are. Ajien feels that these people should know Nami, but he is not too sure. We are Nami's partners. Bai Yu said. Pirates. Nuauchi frowned. Why is such a powerful person a pirate? We are pirates. Luffy honestly admits. The villagers who were looking around heard the word pirate, and subconsciously took 2 steps back. Are you Nami's buddies? Akin asked. Well, Nami is our navigator. Luffy nodded. Then please take Nami away and never come back. Ajien said very seriously. I hope you are really treating her as a partner rather than taking advantage of her. Nuauchigao also said on the side. Everyone, it's time for us to fight. Akane let out a loud roar. Fight with the Arlong pirates. Save Nami. Never let Nami suffer for us again. Fight them. The villagers responded immediately. Back home, pick up the usual farming tools and prepare for a decisive battle with the Arlong gang. Uncle, wait here, we will bring Nami back, she is our partner, and no one is allowed to bully her. Luffy clenched his fist and assured. After speaking, he turned around and walked in the direction Nami left. The four of them followed behind without saying a word. No need to say more at this time, just do it. Ajien, they. The villagers all looked at Ajien. Although Ajien is only a police officer in a village, he is the backbone of Koko Yaxi village. Although I don't know why, I am willing to believe these people, I believe they will be able to bring Nami back. Ajien said very seriously. But, daughter, we just watching. Nuo Chigao clenched her fists. At this time, she really hoped to have the strength to protect her sister. Of course we can't look at it like this, we'll go there too, even if we can only cheer for them. Ajien shouted loudly. Good. A group of people echoed loudly and followed Ajien to Arlong Paradise. Nami was very angry and rushed into Arlong Paradise. Arlong, isn't this Nami, what's wrong? Arlong lay on the chair and looked at Nami with a smile on his face. You bastard, it's clearly stated that I will redeem the village for 100 million Baileys. Why do you want Marine to rob me of my money? Nami was furious, clenching his fists. If it wasn't for the last shred of reason, she would definitely punch down. Oh, what are you talking about? I don't understand at all, I am the person who keeps promises the most, as long as I promise, it will never change, and it is the same now. As long as you can bring 100 million Baileys, I will immediately return your village to you, and I will never violate it. Arlong completely ignored Nami's anger, as if he didn't know anything. Seeing that look, the more you need to play, the more you need to play. It was you who broke the agreement and let Marine. Before Nami could finish speaking, Arlong grabbed his neck and lifted it up. When did I tear up the agreement? Arlong looked at Nami with gloomy eyes. If the money is taken away, it will be taken away. You can make money so much, can you just make it if you can't? Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha, why don't you make money soon? If you earn 100 million Baileys, you can redeem the village. Little thief cat, go and steal the money. A group of Murlocs laughed loudly. Arlong tossed Nami aside, F***K off. Bastard, you wait for me. Nami got up, glanced at Arlong hatefully, turned and ran out quickly. Ha ha ha, Arlong laughed, completely ignoring Nami's threats. Brother Arlong, Colonel Mouse let us go over. Kruby came to Arlong's side and said. The stinky rat got the money, but he didn't send it to me, and let us go there. Arlong looked unhappy, then go over for the sake of money, and beat him by the way. And at this time, Nami who ran out of Arlong Paradise. I happened to meet the Straw Hat crew who came along. Asterisk. Chapter 23. Railgun. Open black lens bracket for collection. Ask for flowers. Ask for a review ticket. Close black lens bracket. Bai Yu. I need strength. Nami shouted loudly with tears in her eyes. Of course, no problem. Bai Yu said and put his finger on Nami's brow. After a moment, electricity began to appear in Nami's body, and cracks began to appear on the ground beneath his feet. The current keeps getting stronger at a rate visible to the naked eye. Short orange hair fluttered in the wind. Nami opened his eyes were unusually bright. Here are the coins for you. They are all 1 Bailey's coins. Go. Bai Yu took out a large amount of coins and gave them to Nami. Thank you, Bai Yu. Thank you. Nami took the coin, thanked him, turned around and rushed to Arlong Paradise. Bai Yu, what skills did you teach Nami? How does it feel different from ours? Luffy's IQ was suddenly on the line again. Of course it's different. You are both men, but Nami is a girl. How can you learn the same skills as you? Bai Yu said it is a matter of course. What's that coin for? Zoro also asked. Why do you have so many questions? If you want to know the answer, just follow up and see. After Bai Yu finished speaking, he rushed out quickly. Ah, Bai Yu is too cunning. Wait for me. Luffy also immediately accelerated to catch up. Don't try to rob my prey. All the ingredients are mine. Sanji roared and rushed over. Actually, I don't care about the prey, I will give it to you. Usopp whispered. You are really ambitious. Hurry up. Zoro rolled his eyes at Usopp. At this point, Nami had already run to the gate of the paradise. Nami, why are you back? The Murloc at the gate looked at Nami suspiciously. Roll. Nami just wants to kill Arlong now. You look for. Boom. Boom. Nami kicked the 2 Murlocs out with one kick. The Murloc's body has been electrocuted with smoke. Nami, what are you doing? A Murloc found Nami and questioned loudly. You're not even worth a Bailey. Nami picked up a rock on the ground, flicked it lightly, and it flew out like a bullet. Boom. The Murloc fell. What is Nami's ability? The few people who rushed over were shocked when they saw Nami's shot. Nami's skill is called railgun. The speed at which the coins in her hand fly out is 3 times the speed of ordinary firearms, and this is only the initial speed. As the coins fly, the speed will increase. If Nami can use this skill complete master, there are not many people in this world who can escape her coins. Bai Yu's introduction is not an exaggeration at all, he is just talking about the railgun. If Nami can develop Masaka Makoto's other abilities, it will definitely reach the strength of the four emperors, if not more than that. So strong. Luffy looked envious. Don't be envious, your 8 inner gates are the strongest, you don't even need to open the 8th gate, as long as you open the 7th gate, plus your own rubber fruit ability, there is no one in this world who can defeat you. Several. Bai Yu said and looked at the other people, your skills are the same, if you can be a complete master, you are all very powerful. My Asura is about to become a complete master. Zoro whispered. Although you can compress 90% of your power now, it's still far from enough, and don't forget, the stronger your own power, the stronger the sword Asura will be. Bai Yu knew what Zoro was thinking, not to mention that Zoro only compressed 90% of his power, even if he compressed all of it, it would be useless. Now Zoro hasn't even reached the realm of slashing iron, and it's too early to fight Hawkeye. Next time we meet, I will definitely beat him. Zoro clenched the knife at his waist. Then you have to practice hard. Bai Yu smiled. Let's go first, now Nami's strength is not enough to deal with the entire dragon pirates. When the 4 of them walked into Arlong Paradise, they found that all the little minions had been cleaned up by Nami. But he didn't see Arlong and those cadres. Looks like Arlong they're out. Bai Yu said. Just here. What a bunch of bastards. Although Nami defeated the minions here, he was not in a good mood at all. Because her goal is Arlong. Don't worry, we'll just wait for him here, shall we? Bai Yu patted Nami lightly, I don't want you to be swallowed by hatred. For us, Arlong is just a stinky fish. Wait a year, 2 years later, and when you look back, at that time, they were just a speck of dust in the sea. Okay. Nami blushed slightly and nodded. Miss Nami. Boom. Before Sanji could finish his words, Nami kicked him and flew out. The powerful electric current Sanji kept twitching. The corners of Bai Yu's mouth twitched for a while. Isn't this too harsh? However, this is also good, and this is how it should be when dealing with this lustful cook. Open the door. We're back. There is a sound from outside. Nami, since someone called the door, please help. Bai Yu smiled slightly. Nami smiled slightly, and a 1 Bailey coin appeared in his hand. Arc flashes all over the body. Super Railgun. Asterisk. Chapter 24. The only 2 people who remain unchanged. Open black lens bracket for collection. Ask for flowers. Ask for a review ticket. Close black lens bracket. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. Super electromagnetic cannon. Boom. The orange beam was like a laser, hitting the door. The light dissipates. Not to mention the door, not even the wall. The sea was clean and there was no debris. Gollum. Usopp swallowed in horror. Sanji also broke into a cold sweat, if this blow was thrown on him. Bai Yu, you really treat women differently than men. Zoro said very seriously. What? Bai Yu was stunned, and he wouldn't be surprised if Sanji and Usopp said this. But he never thought that Zoro would say such a thing. Impressive. Luffy's eyes turned into stars. Bai Yu glanced at Luffy and thought, luckily Luffy's character hasn't changed. Huh, I'm out of power. Nami fell into Bai Yu's arms. It's okay, I'll charge you. Bai Yu burst out a powerful electric current into Nami's body. Are they dead? Nami asked with a blushing face. No, your strength is not enough. If you hurry, they won't have time to jump into the sea. Bai Yu's observation haki has captured the location of several people. Leave it to me. Dare to bully our navigator. I'm going to beat him up. Luffy growled. There seem to be 3 of them, give me 1. Zoro stood up. 3 people, give me 1, I also want to cook murlocs. Sanji stood up from the ground. See, you're not fighting alone, you still have me, and your partner. Bai Yu said with a smile. Okay. Nami's emotions were a little excited, and tears kept rolling in his eyes. Shark arrows. Arlong came up from the bottom of the sea like an arrow, targeting Luffy. Boom. The road was knocked out in an instant. At this moment, 2 murlocs rushed out of the water. Octopus Man Hachi. Cartilaginous Murloc Kruby. As for the kissing Murloc, he was bombarded with slag by Nami's super electromagnetic cannon. Bastards. What have you done to our countrymen? Arlong saw his fellow Murlocs lay on the ground, dead and wounded, and his eyes instantly turned red. Arlong, you're screwed. Nami roared angrily, and arcs flashed all over his body. Nami, you ate devil fruit. Arlong looked at Nami in shock. Bastard stinky fish, how dare you attack me? Courting death. Luffy's angry voice sounded. 8 inner gates. Shut gates. Open. Boom. Arlong flew out in an instant, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Brother Arlong. Hachi and Kruby exclaimed at the same time. Are you an octopus? Sanji asked. Ah, me, I'm the coquettish octopus man Hachi, who are you? Have I asked you? Xiao Bai looked at Sanji with a cute face. As the brain development of Murlocs different from ours. Sanji looked at Bai Yu. Don't ask me, I don't know, maybe octopus is like this. Bai Yu shook his head helplessly. Green algae head, this octopus belongs to me. Sanji glanced at Zoro and said. Bastard, who are you talking to, Chef Lu? Zoro immediately looked at Sanji angrily. Want to fight? Sanji was not afraid at all. Okay, Let me hack you to death. Zoro said the knife and began to unsheath it. What a lowly and dirty human being, is this an infighting? Ruby looked at the two at that time. Go away. Go away. Zoro and Sanji roared angrily. One with feet and one with knives. Ruby was kicked out before he recovered, and he didn't know if he was alive or dead. I cut it first. I kicked it first. The two were about to pinch again. How dare you treat my partner like this? My little eight will not forgive you. Xiao Ba took out 6 knives and looked at the two people angrily. Huh, grilled octopus is great for drinking. I have never dealt with such ingredients. You bastard, you still want to rob me. Let's fight. If the two of them can't say a word, they will fight. Boom. An evil dragon descended from the sky and landed right in the middle of the two of them. Luffy. The two roared in unison. Sorry, I missed it. Luffy fell to the ground, disarming the 8 inner gates. Brother Arlong. Little 8 exclaimed. But Arlong has stopped moving. Although he is still breathing, it is impossible to move. Asshole. Xiao Ba roared angrily, pinched his long mouth, and blew like a trumpet. A Uzumaki appeared on the sea. A huge manatee appeared. Mew mew. Eat them. Hachi shouted loudly. Manatee Mumu was stunned when he saw Luffy, Bai Yu and the others. Immediately after that, it sank to the bottom of the sea and ran away. Mew mew. What's wrong with you? Xiao Ba shouted loudly, but Mew mew ignored it and quickly disappeared into the seabed. Eat these guys. It was almost eaten by these guys. It's pitch black. Little 8 spat out a mouthful of dark ink. I'll still come. Bai Yu took out a coin and flicked it lightly. Boom. The orange light instantly blew the ink away and hit the octopus Hachi. PFF'd. A blood hole was pierced through Xiao Ba's heart. Okay, now it's just him. Bai Yu looked down at Arlong and found that he was no longer breathing. His face darkened suddenly. Luffy. Didn't I say the last blow should be reserved for Nami? Ah, he won't die, will he? Luffy's eyes widened. He clearly didn't use much force. Dead indeed. Zoro confirmed it. Forget it. I'm happier than getting to know Arlong. Everyone will be free in the future. I don't have to be oppressed by Arlong, and I can go to sea with confidence. Nami looked up at the sky, the sun shining on her fair face. It was very warm. Nami, you will always be our navigator. Luffy said loudly. Thank you everyone. Nami smiled sweetly and leaned on Bai Yu's shoulder. Thank you too. Bai Yu smiled and said nothing. Now this feels good and comfortable. No one is allowed to move. Asterisk. Chapter 25. The power to cut steel. Open black lens bracket for collection. Ask for flowers. Ask for a review ticket. Close black lens bracket. Everyone is not allowed to move. Colonel Mouse walked over with hundreds of marine soldiers. But when he walked into the paradise and saw that all the members of the dragon pirates were defeated, the whole person was not well. Arlong lay motionless on the ground, as if dead. The cadres also fell to the ground and did not move. Not a single one of the entire evil dragon pirates was standing. It's you bad marine again. Luffy looked at Colonel Mouse and clenched his fist. Nami walked slowly towards Colonel Mouse. Stop her for me. Colonel Mouse was a little scared when he saw Nami's eyes, and hurriedly asked the soldiers around him to come on. If you want to die, stop and try. Bai Yu immediately appeared beside Nami, and the famous sword in his hand was unsheathed. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Usopp also came to Nami's side. Marine soldiers saw a few people, and immediately backed away in fright. Can defeat the evil dragon pirates, and these people are still unscathed. Where can they deal with such strength? What are you doing? I'm high. Boom. Nami directly kicked the mouse colonel to the ground. You dare to hit me. Colonel Mouse was frightened. I don't just dare to hit you. I also dare to kill you. Believe it or not. Nami grabbed Colonel Mouse by the neck, his eyes extremely cold. You don't mess around. Don't worry, I won't kill you. Killing someone like you will get my hands dirty. Nami's eyes turned cold. But you have to take out all the money you have embezzled over the years. You are not allowed to keep a cent. If you dare to bully the villagers again, I will definitely kill you. The voice fell, and Nami took out a coin and flicked it aside. Boom. The orange beam instantly penetrated a large circular hole in the wall. Gollum. Colonel Mouse swallowed. Okay, you can do whatever you want. I'll listen to you. You are acquainted. Go away. Go and get the money. I warn you, if you dare to hide the money, you will die. Nami kicked Colonel Mouse after saying that. Withdraw. Colonel Mouse rolled and crawled and quickly evacuated the people. As soon as Marine left, the villagers of Kokoyashi village rushed over panting. The Arlong gang was defeated. What the hell happened here? Is this too fast? The villagers' eyes widened, some couldn't believe the scene in front of them. Over the years, they have wanted to see such a picture all the time. Unexpectedly, the dream came true. Everyone. Nami saw the villagers shouting loudly. The villagers immediately turned to Nami. We are free. Nami cried out in excitement. She's been waiting for this day for too long. Woo woo woo. The villagers dropped their weapons and shed tears of excitement. I'm so happy today. Let's have a banquet. Luffy suddenly shouted. The scene instantly quieted down. Okay, we haven't had a banquet for a long time. Ajien wiped away his tears and echoed loudly. Yeah, on a day like today, there should be a banquet to celebrate. Nuaochigao said excitedly. The villagers immediately cheered. The party begins. All the villagers had happy smiles on their faces. And the people of Straw Hat Crew have naturally become the heroes who rescued the village. I really didn't expect that it was the pirates who finally rescued us. Ajien looked at the Straw Hat Crew, who was mingling with the villagers, and was also a little emotional. They are different from other pirates, especially that Bai Yu. Didn't you realize that Nami was very dependent on him? Nuaochigao said beside Ajien. You mean Nami likes him? Ajien was surprised. Isn't it obvious? Forget it, what are you talking about with this old man? Nuaochigao shook his head helplessly and walked towards Bai Yu. Ajien smiled and didn't care, took a bottle of wine and walked to the other side. Thank you for saving our village. My name is Nuaochigao, Nami's sister. Nuaochigao said with a smile. Hello, my name is Bai Yu. Bai Yu picked up the wine glass and touched it with Nuaochi, and drank it. Nami is going to sea with you. I don't have any requirements. I just hope you can take good care of her. She has suffered too much over the years. Don't make her suffer. Nuaochigao looked at Bai Yu very seriously. Don't worry, with me, she will only smile happily. Bai Yu said, took out a small notebook and handed it to Nuaochigao. This is the training method of Marine 6 styles. If you want to not be bullied, you can only be strong. His skills can only be imparted to his own crew, not to Nokigao. You can only hand Marine 6 styles to them and let them practice on their own. Thanks. Nochigao did not refuse and accepted Marine 6 styles. Arlong was defeated, but who knows if there will be another Arlong in the future. If you want not to be bullied, you have to be strong. Bai Yu, drink. Zoro came over with a glass of wine. You guys have a drink, I'll go see Nami. Nuaochi glanced high at Zoro, then got up and left. Bai Yu, tell me, how can I improve my strength and defeat Hawkeye? Zoro said. He gulped down a big glass of wine. Your knife can cut through stone, but can it cut through steel? Bai Yu looked at Zoro and said seriously, if you can cut through steel, you will truly become a swordsman. Cut off the steel. Zoro picked up the word Hidao on his waist and fell silent. Bai Yu is not bothering either. Now Zoro has awakened observation haki, and it is not difficult to understand the power of slashing iron. Zoro stood up abruptly, knife unsheathed. He swung the knife to the leaves on the side, and the extremely sharp blade did not cut off the leaves. Then with a slight wave of the knife, the stone on the ground was divided into two, and the incision was extremely smooth. Teacher, I seem to understand what you said now. Zoro looked up at the night sky. There was also a smile on Bai Yu's face. Zoro realized the power of cutting iron. The next thing to do is to find a way to get Luffy into second gear. Then there is Haki's training method. The banquet lasted all day and night. Everyone is very happy. Happy time is always short. The banquet is over, and it is time to part. The Straw Hat Pirates will continue to sail. Target One Piece.